Ugh. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. This is not something I typically do in terms of what I talk about. I'm going to mute this for a second because they're talking about climate change right now, and I could care less right now about that at the moment because there's a lot of topics we got to get into, and climate change's been a subject for a long time. But I don't typically do anything political on my channel. I made a video about Rock endorsing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris before, but I am going to be talking about, hey, this is a very important matter in our history. It's a very important matter. Everyone's saying hello. Hello, guys. Thank you. But this is a very important matter to talk about. This is who's going to be our next president for the next 4 years. Like, I don't know. If a lot of you guys are younger, it might not affect you guys. But to any of you guys who are young adults or even older than being young adults, if you're in your late 20s or 30s and so on, this is going to be very this is going to be very important to you guys because there's a lot of stuff in terms of taxes and regulations getting passed about the whole COVID thing on who's going to be our next president. Trump's been a little bit less lenient on the whole COVID thing, wearing masks and stuff like that, while Biden's been really for mask and restrictions and shutting down places, and Trump's been the other way around. So it's going to be very important who's going to be our next president of the United States. And I'm open to talk to you guys. I don't care if even I'm going to be debating some of you guys and all. But I did want to sit here and watch the presidential election, not because of any of those political reasons, because the first one was a fucking shit show, okay? I know I shouldn't be swearing this early in the live stream, but damn, that was a shit show. That was so bad, that first election. We are going to see what happens the second time around. We're going to see what happens the second time. TJV 2020? No, that ain't happening. I can't even join the race at this point. Stop putting TJV 2020. Don't be putting that. Don't be putting that. Don't even want to hear it. I cannot be. Nobody can. You could say anyone you want for 2020. It doesn't matter. These two are the final ones in the race. Literally, election day's coming up in a couple weeks. Like, it ain't going to happen. You could say 2024. Some crap like that if you want, but that's it. You can say 2024 if you want. All depends on who wins this one, really, because if Biden wins, then he'll probably be the candidate in 2024. But if Trump wins, then we're going to need a new Republican candidate and a new Democratic candidate in 2024. But Jim Carrey 2020. Nope, you mean Jim Carrey 2024 is what you mean. Anyways, for the next hour, I'm here to kind of chat with you guys a little bit, but the whole thing, it's going to be in an hour. I just wanted to watch the pre-show to see if there was any information. We can see what topics they're talking about before, and then go from there. Try to read up. All you guys are just putting TJV 2024, TJV 2020. Don't be doing that. Mr. Beast 2024. I would be fine with Mr. Beast, man. He can be our president. I like that. He'd give the country so much money. TJV, whoever wins in 2020 is probably going to die in office from old age. I mean, maybe. That could be the case. It could happen. You never know. Oh yeah, you guys can hear me. Great. Sorry if I streamed myself. I just wanted to make sure it was working. Hit it live. Random person 2030. I'm voting for that random person in 2030. I'm not even going to put my 2 cents in it. Not even going to lose friends over political stuff. Yeah, no. I get it, guys. I'm not here to address my political stance. That's not what I am. That's not what I'm doing. And if you guys want to know, I'm not going to say. I bet you guys could guess where I stand, but I'm not going to say where I stand and, who I'm voting for and all that. I'm not here to do that. I think both candidates have their flaws, as every debate and every every race happens. You know, both candidates have their flaws. But what I will say is I'm very curious on what Trump's going to bring to the table, because he's going to be super aggressive this time. And Biden, I heard, is going to try to talk directly to the American people. He's going to bypass Trump and just talk to the American people. So I'm curious on what's going to happen. TJV is the president of his YouTube channel. Well, technically everyone's the president of their own YouTube channel. But anyways, yeah, we're going to get right into this and go from here. George Washington, 1789. Agreed. Well, if Biden wins, Harris would be a great president if Biden was to die. That's your opinion, my friend. And guys, try to respect everyone's opinions, okay? There's going to be people showing up with some really stupid, dumb opinions. Just respect it. Okay, what do they talk about here? Can you guys hear this, or do I need to turn it up? Wow, that's that many voted so far? I mean, I'm glad people are voting. I think everyone should vote. Debate starts in 58 minutes, guys. 58 minutes. Can you guys hear the live stream? If I need to turn it up, I'll turn it up. I just wanted to keep it low. Turn it up, someone says. Yeah, the second debate kind of got canceled, but they did do that town hall thing, so. Turn it up. Alright, can you guys hear it better now? I just turned it up. If I need to turn it up more or turn it down, let me know. I just turned it up, though. Alright, let me know if I need to turn it up. I just did it. I'll wait for you guys to... So many American families have actually been affected by it. The numbers are staggering. There were supposed to be barriers on stage, but they removed them. I saw that they removed them. Do I still need to turn it up? Do I still need to turn it up? You remember it was months ago I asked the president, "Are you comfortable with the idea of this election being a referendum on your handling of the pandemic?" Kinda, someone said. It's good, someone says. A little more. You're good. A little more. Alright, I'll turn it up a little bit more. Alright. I just turned it up a little bit more. If it's right at the perfect spot, let me know. We got an hour to figure out the audio, so let me know. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because I'll be throwing my 2 cents in. Not political 2 cents, but I'll be sitting here making fun of them if they say some stupid ass shit, you know? That's what we all have to do. That's what we've been doing as a nation. We've been making fun of these guys. Some of us have been supportive of them, but... Plus, I just talked about the Chris Pratt thing in a video. Chris Pratt getting canceled. And then Diesel Patches uploaded a video today about, Diesel Patches made a video today about the whole Chris Pratt thing, so we'll see how that goes. I'm watching this on the ABC News, so I don't really give a crap what these anchors have to say. Because I've seen them kind of attack Trump in the pre-show already. Because I was watching this before I went live. And I don't care. I'll report you for being too awesome, man. Positivity, man. Thank you. TJB 3000, haha. But yeah, a lot of these ABC anchors have been more swayed on Biden's side. They've been making fun of Trump early on. I don't care about that. Like, I've been ignoring it. They have brought up some points that I agree with, but for the most part, they just seem to hate on Trump. And whatever reasoning it is behind that, obviously, but I'm not gonna say, I'm not watching the stream saying I'm voting for, I'm siding with Biden just because these guys are attacking Trump. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just making fun of them because they bring up some stupid points. They've also been making fun of Biden a little bit, but it seems like they're really attacking Trump. That's kind of what everyone does. Joe Nets 2020. Someone's talking about the Lego movie. They don't even care about this. I'm just like, whatever. TJV 2100. I could not run at that time. You got some Trump fans up in here. Okay, cool, cool. I'm excited. Also, guys, if anyone's gonna donate super chats, which happens from time to time, I added in a new. Wait, I think it's up here. So up here, there's going to be a new tip marker. You can't see it yet because no one's donated, but as soon as someone donates a super chat, it should read it right up here. I don't know if it works, but I added in something where right up there, there's a tip ticker is what it is, and it'll start here, and then it'll go this way, and it'll say your name, and then how much you donated, and it'll just run across the top of here. So if you guys donate any super chats, that's what'll happen. It'll pop up here. Also, right here, there'll be a alert box that also says it, but up there will be the tip ticker. So if I don't know if it works, but if we do get super chats, I'm gonna see if it works, and if it doesn't work, I'll try to fix it for my next stream. But TJB, there is no political solution, not gonna lie. There's always a political solution. There always is. There is always a political solution if you're choosing a candidate. That's what I'm talking about. If you're talking about in general, there's just never a solution. That's true. That's true. Six Right, officially, just subscribed. Wow, thanks, Sam. You just now subscribed. Thank you. I know you're subscribed to your other account, I believe. But no, I get it. There's not solutions to politics. I get that. But there's always a candidate for you to vote for. If there's always a choice. You always have that choice to make. Regardless if you make it or not, there's always a choice. And everyone has their own opinion on who they think is right. And I'm never going to blame someone if they want to vote for the opposite candidate I want to vote for. I'll never blame you for that, because you have your own people and your own values and your own morals that you want to vote for. A lot of my celebrities that I look up to, like Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo, and a lot of them, they're voting for Joe Biden. The Rock is voting for Joe Biden. Everyone loves The Rock. I even like Obama as a political figure. I like watching his speeches and stuff like that. And he's obviously going for Biden, so I mean, that's just one of the things you got to go for. But there's also other people too that are voting for Trump. You know, I think there was a few celebrities that were voting for Trump. I just forgot who they were. So I wish there was a third party. I wish there was a third party that finally wins. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. It's gonna be Republicans and Democrats for a long time. Long time. Trump supporters are annoying, to be honest, because they are stubborn. It's kind of on both ends, dude. It's not just Trump supporters, but I get what you mean. Some Trump supporters can be super stubborn. I get that. Bro, Shrek is my only president. True. Oh, wow.
Now, you may be thinking, this is so small. Why are we even talking about this? Well, when you look at the margins that Trump won by, President Trump 4 years ago...
Get a call, guys. Hold on.
Every vote matters. In Arizona and Florida,
hello?
He's dipped even more. Almost a full percentage point. Again, it sounds small, but it is important. We want to say that all the political scientists we've spoken to, the experts in these states...
Message me on YouTube.
It's going to be a close election, and George, even the Biden campaign has acknowledged...
Oh, you were texting in the live stream?
We would expect that, Tom. Let's bring in Nate Silver from 538. And Nate, your forecast...
Oh, I just saw it.
...shows an improved chances for Joe Biden since the first debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump is down to a 12% chance, which isn't nothing. It's a 1 in 8 chance, so flip a coin, comes up tails 3 times. But it is down from about 22% before the debate. Trump has lost ground in national polls. It's a bit closer, as Tom said, in the key
that'd be
states,
cool.
But the main thing is, like, there is not that much time left on the clock, especially after tonight. If you're down 6 points in Pennsylvania,
yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
It's a pretty big deficit to overcome. So Trump really, really does. I know it's a cliche. He really does need to find a way to tighten the race tonight,
especially with all those early votes coming in. Tom, let's take a deeper look at those.
Yeah, so we said 47 million people have voted.
Yeah, that'd be cool. My stream could really use it. All 117 of you guys watching.
So right now, we're at nearly a 700% increase. This comes from our friend Dr. Michael McDonald from the U.S. Elections Project. He's been tracking all this. Right now, we already have 30% of the total vote we had in 2016 locked in. So the big question is, who is this going to benefit? Well, right now, from the states that give party registration data,
Democrats that'd be cool.
Are outpacing Republicans in the mail-in ballots, the ones that have been sent in. But tonight, and this is where it gets interesting, Republicans are pointing to another...
Very political tonight. I'm going to try not to voice any political opinion. I'm just going to be making fun of their debates because it's going to be a real shit show.
Plus 100,000 in Pennsylvania, plus 40,000 I think here in North Carolina, and plus 145,000 in Florida. That's a big increase, but our friends at 538, George, they'll tell us why this is a little bit more complicated.
Well, I don't have it full screen, so once I put it full screen during the actual debate, it should be bigger. But guys in the chat, do you guys think I should make the screen up here? Should I make that bigger, smaller? I am gonna make it full screen, so it'll go from this to this. So I'll have this up for the debate, but for right now.
In the end, you already have high Democratic turnout. But I think Trump, his whole flaw strategically is focusing too much on his base when we know that the Democratic base will also.
All right. Well, I can give you a call after the live stream if you want.
And Nate, how about that number that Lindsay brought up earlier? The significant percentage of
Yeah,
first-time
awesome.
voters
All right,
showing
I'll
up
talk to you later,
to
man.
vote.
See ya.
Yeah, so we are now projecting that turnout might wind up somewhere.
All right,
in
guys.
55 million.
You guys want it bigger?
It could be 140.
It's fine. Massive. You guys want it massive? You guys want it massive? Ugh. Woke up to find Mini Lad posted a new vid. He did post a new vid, guys. Please don't leave my live stream to go watch it. It's horrible, but I will have a video out tomorrow morning about the Mini Lad video. He eats these very hot Doritos while playing that stupid Mario Hard Challenge game. It's stupid. It's a stupid video and it's disgusting. There's a lot of disgusting things in it. Do not watch the video. I'm making a video on it. I will just show you the highlights of the video and I'll talk about it. Do not watch his Mini Lad video. If you want to go over there to dislike it, I don't care. But please don't watch it in full. It's awful. And he does not need the views, to be honest. He does not need the views. Anyways, moving on. We're not here to talk about Mini Lad. Where's your beard? I shaved it. I needed a clean face, guys. Girls don't like the beard, okay? The guys might like the beard, but the girls do not. And I do need a simp from time to time, so. Hashtag Trevor officially simps. Why did the fact of wearing a mask become political? What are you talking about? It's always been political. Ever since COVID struck, it's been political. It's always been political. Is Bruce? Hey, dude, Chris Hansen is looking into Mini Lad. He is. Chris Hansen is looking into Mini Lad. I saw that. That's pretty awesome. Coda calling me a simp. Ouch. I liked your beard. You're one of the few, Owie. You're one of the few. I'm sorry. Big Yoshi is here. What's up? TJV is the big simp. I am the big simp. What's up, Briz? Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Briz, if we're still doing that podcast tonight, if you want to do the podcast tonight, it's going to have to be after the debate here, but if you're up for it, I know Blake's going to be up. We can still do it. We can still do it. The Divide says at TJV there was never been a political solution for what is going on right now in America, Europe, and Japan. What we are going to see is all theater, and neither side shares the same goals. Well, okay, we could still find a political solution even though we have two opposing sides. We can have different values and different opinions on certain solutions, but that doesn't mean we can't come together for a solution. We can all come together and say we're better united than separated. Isn't that a solution? Aren't we better united than separated? I don't know about you guys, but the 8 years that Obama was the president, I think we were pretty united as a country. Yeah, we had some up and downs, we had some problems, but we were more united during the Obama term than we are now during the Trump term. So yeah, there is solutions that we can be united on. Can't tonight, you free tomorrow? Briz, I am free tomorrow, but we upload podcasts every Saturday, so if you want to make it this Saturday, it has to be tomorrow. So if you're down for tomorrow, I'm down for tomorrow. Thank you, Briz. But I am saying there is solutions. There is solutions. Okay? There is solutions. Not on everything, but there is political solutions. There is. It's just, yes, right now it is hard. So I get what you mean, Divide. That's fine. Briz says, hopefully Craig don't pull on Innocent and call the police on Chris Hansen for home invasion. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
From Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
ABC News Election Headquarters. This is a 2020 special. The final presidential debate. Here again,
The final debate, guys. It's coming. That's right. This live stream will be great. Get real heated. I can feel it. Oh, it will be. Is it Briz or Breezy? I call him Briz, but you guys can call him whatever you want.
Part of the president's formal debate prep last time around, Not this time. What are you expecting?
I call
Do
him
you think
Briz.
he believes he hurt himself last
Briz
time?
says, hell yeah, I'm down for tomorrow. Hit me up on Discord when you're ready. Sounds good, Briz. Thank you very much.
Strategy needs to be undertaken tonight, and I believe that he will undertake a different strategy tonight.
Bro, this chat gonna be toxic later during the debate. Guys, if the chat gets too toxic, hopefully some of my moderators like Coda, Sam, and other moderators will be in the chat to moderate just in case. But stream not monetized. Is it not monetized? Really? If it isn't, I'll be mad. I won't be that mad. It's gonna be whatever. Open up a new window. Like that over here. Alright, let me see if this stream is monetized or not. I'm sure it is monetized still, because I haven't cursed that much in it. Unless my non-political opinion already got this demonetized. I don't know, we'll see. It is. Yup.
Thank you, Chris. Let's pick up on that.
It's not suitable for most advertisers. What? Request review. All I'm doing is live streaming. Come on. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I don't care. Rip Fox News canceling your money. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, hopefully I'll have moderators in the chat. So, OEOH, TJV noticed me. I do notice you guys. I'm reading your guys' chats. Calm down. Anyways, hopefully I'll have moderators in the chat, moderating the chat. If it gets too hectic, I'll just close the chat. The chat will just no longer be there. So be respectful, be nice, and if you see someone bullying or putting some negative stuff in here, see you ripping again. I'm taking a break on that, bro. 2 weeks in. Alright, good job, Briz, good job. I'm not quitting, I don't care what anybody says. But, is your new chair comfy? It is comfy, thank you. But I'll have moderators in the chat. If you guys see someone disrespectful or saying something mean, just call them out. Say, hey, we're not here for that. We're here to sit here, enjoy a debate, and move on. If we can't sit here as a country, or as multiple countries around the world, and sit here and have a discussion about something, there's something going on. I'll be laughing and making jokes out of this debate. I might throw my opinion in here and there. And if you guys have your own opinion, feel free to voice it. But don't hurt anyone. Don't harass and hurt other people. We're not trying to actually have a fight. TJV, who are you for? I do not want to state my political opinion. I do not want to state my political opinion because I feel like if I state my political opinion, people are going to be like, oh, I can't watch you anymore because you're a Biden fan or a Trump fan. I don't want people to do that. I don't want people to get upset with me just because of who I'm voting for. So I will not be stating publicly who I am for. I will say, like, who I think will win. But I am voting this year, and I have decided who I want to vote for my own reasons. And I want all you guys to vote for your own reasons. I'll never judge you for who you vote for, and hopefully you guys will never judge anyone else for who they'll vote for. Because there's reasons to vote for both parties. Same reason why there was two people voting for other people, you know, in other elections, like Obama or Mitt Romney, Obama and McCain, Hillary and Trump, Bush and whoever else he went against. I don't know. That was when I was super young. I think I watched snippets of Bush's debates, but better. At least you won't say it like Chris Pratt. What do you mean like Chris Pratt? Chris Pratt didn't say anything wrong. Chris Pratt didn't do anything wrong. Plot twist. CJV is the head of the United Nations. You should never tell people who you are voting for. It's nobody's business. I mean, not really. You guys can spread who you want to vote for. Like, I know there's a lot of Trump fans up in here. I've already seen people put Trump 2020 in here. That's fine. I don't care. You guys can put who you want to vote for. I'm just not doing it for me because I'm the center. I'm kind of like a public figure to a lot of people, and I'm not gonna shut off half my audience because of that. I'm not gonna sit here and put someone and then have someone be butthurt that I'm voting for someone. I'm not doing that. I don't want someone calling me a dickhead for my own opinions. You know what I mean? Jeb Bush for Supreme Leader. No. Yeah, I mean, Chris Pratt got canceled. Yeah, Chris Pratt got canceled for some BS reasons. Because he didn't attend a Joe Biden live stream thing. Because he's Christian? Really?
And third,
Really?
stability of this race,
That's
George.
stupid.
Joe Biden led
Someone says they voted for
by
Trump.
6 points,
Good
7
for it.
points, 8 points,
How
9
has
points,
Trump done any
now
better or
within 10
would be
points to go
lesser
for the first
evil
time since March.
when
That's a
he's
very
literally
stable
given
race. Donald
500
Trump has
billion
never taken a
to
lead
the
in
very
this race,
same
and
looters
he's
and
never gone
killers
within
who
1 or 2
have
points in this
personally
race.
affected
All
people
of
I
that
know.
points to a difficult job Donald Trump's gonna
I
have to
don't
do.
know why you're
He can't
targeting
win
me
this
for that.
race
I'm
and
just
think he's
saying
gonna
the
win this
both
race.
presidents have
He
their
has to
own
prove voters who have
own
already cast a
reasons
vote
to be
for
voted
Joe
for.
Biden, who are
I don't know
for
why
Joe
you're
Biden,
at me about
to
that.
himself in this race.
I'm not saying
That's a
he's any
much
better than
more
Biden, but I'm also
process
saying
to
Biden's not any
handle
better than
this
Trump.
than moving somebody that's undecided to
I'm
you.
gonna
We
judge
offer
this
somebody
stream
else to
what these
you
guys debate, and
to
that's
raise.
it. I'm not saying anything else
For the
besides that.
leader for
I might also talk
Virginia,
about like
Moore
previous
on
events though,
4
because I'll talk about like the first debate was a
interferences.
shit show, and Trump acted like a fool, and Biden didn't really get to speak as much because Trump was interrupting all the damn time. So, yeah. Getting pissed off over political opinions is like getting mad for what hair color you have. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a part of us, what we believe that we want to do, and believe what we want to believe in. It's like getting mad over someone about a religion. You know, or mad about someone like if they like a TV show and you don't. Like, come on, it's just a political opinion. You gotta chill. You gotta chill. If I could, I'd vote for Trump. Okay, someone say they'd vote for Trump. That's fine. Mini lad for prison 2020. Can we all agree on that? Don't at me, bro. TJV 2020. Thank you, Sam. Don't at me, bro. Don't at me. There's no reason to be at me right now. Don't sit here and say that I'm a defender of Trump or something like that. Don't say that. Briz has as well as what, Briz? I hate this music right here. It's so annoying. I love your stem, bro. Bo. I love your stem, bo. I don't know if you meant stream. Mini lad for YouTube termination in prison 2020. Agreed. America's not great right now. Hey, it's not. Parts of America aren't great, but it's been like that since America's created. There's always been bad parts about America. There's also a lot of good parts about America. So just calm down. Calm down. I finally got a girlfriend. Good on you, man. Good on you. Hope you all and your girlfriend have a great life together. Politics are more important now than they've ever been. I think politics have always been important since the beginning. It's not a essential in your life. You don't need to have politics at the stem of your life. It's never been essential to anyone's life, unless it's your job. But it's always been important. Politics are always important, no matter what. And they're important, but they're not always essential. And that's why a lot of people don't care for politics, because it's not essential to their life, and sometimes it causes a lot of unnecessary stress. Politics has caused me stress in the past. And I love politics. I love looking into it. I love watching it. I love debating it. I love doing commentary on it. But I choose not to do a commentary on my channel because I don't want to be known as right or left wing. I don't want that. I just want a voice for you guys to listen to when it comes to matters. Not political matters. TJV President 2020, Mini Lad Imprisonment 2020. I agree on that. I can't become president this year. It's already one of these two guys. Stop saying TJV 2020. If you're gonna say TJV for president any year, say 2024. That makes sense. That makes sense. Kanye West 2020. He was going to, but then he dropped out. So I don't know. Hey, what's up, Jim? Thanks for joining the stream. Oh my God, XD. Politics and election has always been voting for the lesser evil because no president has had a flawless 4 years. Thank you. There will always be up and downs in anyone's presidential run. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I guess if we're being honest, I don't like either of them. I wish we didn't have this two-party system. I'm happy I can't vote because every year it's such a hard choice. If it's a hard choice, that could be a good and a bad thing. Honestly, I feel like America has the most toxic people ever. But that is probably because I have not seen toxic Canada or British. I mean, there's toxicity anywhere you go. Sam says, except you have to be at least 35 to become president. True, true. I do have to be 35. But just say 2024 anyways. Someone put TJV 2016. What is wrong with you? Come on, you guys aren't stupid.
George, there's a disturbing accusation that Russia and Iran have conducted counterintelligence operations secretly to obtain voter registration.
Yeah, Russian and Iran is apparently trying to temper with our political data. It's like the third time they've covered it.
Things became extremely urgent this week when a series of emails were sent to Democratic
Terrorizer 2020. I can get behind that. I can get behind it. No matter what you do, someone is gonna get mad. Exactly. I'm trying to keep the peace though here. You know, no matter what president, you know, you can be. The Rock could become president, and people would still be upset. People would still be upset. I mean, I'd be slightly upset because he doesn't have any political background. That's why I would be upset. You need to have political background before you become president.
Just to interfere and cause disruption in the entire election, not to target President Trump. Let me bring in our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Radis, for more on this as well.
TJV 1996. I'll go back in time to be president. That's fine with me.
Well, George, I think critics will say they're not doing enough. We've been talking about this, of course, since 2016, and that's why the critics are zeroing in on this, because they say it's happening
TJV
again
200X,
to some
okay.
degree. Now,
Thank you.
people working on it,
LR NEPA with $2. Don't vote for Fly.
state to state, they have election
Will
security
do.
and cyber units that are looking at this.
Vote for Fly, Coda says.
Chris Wray, and you also heard Cyber
Here
Command today
becomes the
and
debate.
NSA say the US will not
I'm gonna vote for the Fly that landed on. Whose head did it land
So I
on?
think the question is, what will they do
I forgot.
about it
Whose
after
head did it
making a
land on?
statement like that?
The
Cyber
Fly?
Command in the past, in fact, June of 2019,
Maybe you guys will
reportedly took
remind me.
cyber offensive
I don't know.
action against Iran.
I
Iran
don't
had shot
know.
down a US drone, millions and millions of
Vote for the Fly,
dollars
though.
of a US drone.
Made a
And
stance.
President Trump,
Was it
if you'll
Trump's
remember,
head?
decided not to take
I think it landed on
military
Trump's head.
action,
I don't know.
in the last 10 minutes. So
That Fly,
Cyber
though.
Command took over and targeted a database,
Pence.
the
It landed on
Iranians had,
Pence's head?
and shut down their targeting
What?
of ships in the Persian Gulf.
Oh, yeah,
So
damn, I was
shut
wrong.
down a Russian
I thought it was
troop
Trump.
farm in
Some people are saying
2018. So
Biden?
perhaps we'll see something like
On
that.
Pence. Okay, it landed on Pence's head. My bad, my bad.
We have
So it
only a
landed on
few
Pence's
days
head.
before election, George.
Okay, let's get more on this now from two former
I remember Jimmy Fallon talking about that. I like watching Jimmy Fallon from time to time.
Secretary of Homeland Security under President Obama,
Schwarzenegger for
Tom Bossert, who's
2020.
President Trump's Homeland Security Advisor. And Jay, let me begin.
I don't know.
with you. We saw
He
that
can't become
publicizing
president. I know that,
Iranian
but
interference
he'd be
yesterday.
cool. He was governor of
Consistently
California.
over the last several years now, it's
Good
been
luck trying to be
Russia
governor of
that's
that
posed a
state.
more serious threat.
TJV 30,000 BC.
Yes, so what is plain at this stage, George, is that all of the
Not Mike Pence, because I saw an SNL on it. Yeah, I saw Jimmy Fallon talk about it. Jimmy Fallon was like, "Oh my God, that fly was probably like, yo, homies, I landed on his head, man." Talking like how cool would it be if a fly could go back and talk to his homies about it.
apparently have actually breached
Michael Scott for president. Yes, 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 yes. Someone has to make a skit out of that on YouTube.
exactly what the Russians
What would The Office be like if they were in the White House?
George, this was my number one concern 4 years ago when we saw this scandal.
Is there an episode of The Office where he does talk about him becoming president one time? That sounds familiar.
State election officials to seek our assistance. The Russians are at it again, and it appears
Any
that
good
other
president
actors
2020.
have
Well,
had
sadly, that will
this
not be
space as
happening.
well.
We know they've gone after voter registration rules. Is there any indication that they could actually reach
30
the
minutes
state
away, guys.
system
30 minutes
and
away.
change the
I'll make this
tabulation of
bigger.
votes?
There's no reason why I can't. Yeah, well.
I don't have any
So I can pull
evidence
this up
that they
over
have done
here.
that based
Sorry that
upon
I'm
what
super
I
white,
read.
guys. I'm looking at
But we
something.
cannot foreclose the possibility that
Wow, I have no ads running on this video, guys. There goes my money. There goes my money, guys. Stupid YouTube. Stupid YouTube. Stupid YouTube. Dwight would be the leader of the Secret Service. Dwight would be. Dwight would be.
And their responsibility to vote in this election. Maximum voter participation is a way around this problem.
Jay Johnson, thanks very much. Let's bring in Tom Bossert for more on this. And Tom, you worked with us in the early days of the Trump
Stupid YouTube.
administration. It always seems there have been two different
Can we vote for
tracks,
YouTube, please?
under
Monetize
President Trump.
TJV 2020.
And he at times
That'd be
seemed
nice.
to be amplifying Russian
Briz says,
disinformation.
"Welcome to my world." Briz, I don't want to be in your world. This sucks. No, I'm kidding. It happens from time to time. Like almost all my live streams get demonetized, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
We're seeing that trend continue as we see DHS.
6 Ray says ABC can't have you make money off their money, lol. Whatever. It's a reaction if it falls in fair use. It's a monopoly. ABC's owned by Disney. Oh, that's why. I totally forgot. Disney hates me, guys. Remember? They took down my Avengers vs. Mini-Lad Part 2. They hate me. No wonder they demonetized this, because I'm watching their live stream on ABC. Might have to switch over to Fox News. No, Fox News would be even worse to watch right now. It would be even worse. Jose, $5, bro. Can't change your stream to C-SPAN. All the homies watching C-SPAN, and you've been caught lacking. C-SPAN.
What would you be most worried about in these final 11, 12 days?
No. Why?
Well, I separate the
Why?
voting tolls, right? The tally machines. Those
Briz
things that can be
2020?
interfered with in such a way that it affects the election.
Yes.
So far, we're seeing pretty good security around those devices. I echo Secretary Johnson's view that people should vote and not feel there's no integrity there. I'd be also, and probably more.
But to be
worried
fair, your
about
toilet
the
chair
things
stream
around
got
those tally
monetized. It
machines.
did. It did.
Information
My
about
toilet
where
is
to
doing
vote,
fine.
when,
My toilet is
a
doing
polling
fine.
place is closed,
So,
even information about what the early results are. Those are all different systems that could be influenced. You know, one little small point that I picked up on in this reporting, George, this was a different aspect of
hey, who are you going to vote
Russian
for?
government.
Not going to say.
This was the FSB,
Not gonna state
kind of
that.
akin to the KGB or, loose
Fox
government,
is owned by
not
Disney.
the GRU.
Not
We're
Fox
really
News,
seeing
no.
their
Not Fox
military
News.
cyber operations
See,
carried
what
out
happened
by
in that whole
this time
and
we're
or
seeing
deal,
their KGB
I'm not going to state who I'm going to vote for.
legacy
Stop asking.
organization doing it. And so you have
But
to wonder
what happened in that whole deal is 20th Century Fox got bought out by Disney, but the Fox News did not. The Fox News is still its own entity. So Fox News is not owned by Disney. Fox News, all of the sports news, Fox Sports, the Fox News, all those television are not owned by Fox. Not owned by Disney. Disney bought 20th Century Fox. And they also bought the 33% sharehold of Hulu. So now Disney owns 66% of Hulu. Might be more than that. About 2/3 of it. So Disney does not own Fox News. They own ABC though. Briz says, I would make Mini-Lad a prisoner of war. I would resign, Briz. Yeah. Disney does not own Fox News. Disney does not own Fox News. They do not. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. Darth Vader 2020. Yes. I hate this music that happens right here, man. Really hate it. I guess the tip ticker didn't work. Someone donated. 2 people donated and it didn't work. I don't know why. TJ, who is Joe? Joe Biden, you mean? Is that who you talking about? Disney over here getting a monopoly. I mean, they have a lot, but it's not a monopoly. It's not a monopoly. Just because they're dominant doesn't mean they're a monopoly. There's still plenty of other... It depends what... Disney's involved within a lot of different businesses when they're making money. They have, like, public state parks. They have movies. They have TV. Streaming services. Toys. Music. They're not dominant in music. They're not... I don't think they're dominant in toys either. Streaming services, right now Netflix is the most dominant one, I believe. The music is literally the PS4 home screen music, slowed down. Yeah! Is it literally? Kinda sounds like it. I left my PlayStation on, bro. Why the music sound like that? I thought I left my PlayStation on. It does sound like that though. It's confirmed ABC and Disney are Sony fans. TJB, do you know who How is? Do you know who How is? What are you talking about? I own Disney. Yeah, right. Coda, if you vote, you get a free PS4. Boom, official. If you vote in this presidential election for the right candidate, you get a PS4. For the right candidate. Probably not LOL, but it's so close to it. Yeah, I know. This music's pretty close to the PS4 music, the background music. Austin, come here. Come listen to this. Yeah, open up my stream. Doesn't this music that's playing, doesn't it sound like the PS4 music? Let me know when you hear it. Austin plays PS4 more than I do.
I left my PS4 on.
Bro, you left your PS4 on. Isn't that weird?
Besides the beats that, like, then it's the PS4 thing.
Yeah, doesn't it sound like it?
Yeah.
People are going nuts over it. Biden has dementia, so that's a no vote for me, someone says. Alright. Boba Fett says Trump called me and told me that if I don't vote for him, he would kill me. You're Boba Fett, though. You could easily kill him. Imagine if Donald J. Trump and Biden watched your streams. Doubtful.
What he's for.
Uh-oh,
My
Biden.
guess is he's kind of signaling that it's all going to be about personal attacks.
Personal attacks. Yeah, Trump's going to personally attack Biden. That's what the reports are saying.
Hunter Biden, the president, has been signaling that in the last several days. I want to bring in Dan Abrams, our chief legal analyst, for more on this. First of all, we know that the president's attempt to get Ukraine investigate Hunter Biden's business dealings was at the heart of impeachment. He's never really stopped trying to make it an issue. What do we know about what Hunter Biden did, whether his father had anything to do with it?
Biden's son, Hunter Biden.
So we start in 2014, where Hunter Biden gets
Oh, I clicked because of the thumbnail. Well, thank you. I worked really hard on the thumbnail.
This major Ukrainian energy company, and there were questions about whether he was.
I'm voting for Jimmy Fallon.
There were even some within the
I would not
Obama
vote for Jimmy
administration
Fallon.
who were saying that it was an appearance of a conflict of interest. Fast forward just over a
Is
year
this
later,
PS5
Joe
versus
Biden
this is
then pressured
is this
Ukraine
PS5 versus
to fire
Xbox?
its top
Who would be
prosecutor.
PS5? Who would be Xbox?
President Trump and his allies say it was to protect Burisma and Hunter Biden from an investigation. Problem with that is that the State Department, the International Monetary Fund, the European Union, the U.S. government's position was the prosecutor's corrupt, and it's not that he's protecting Burisma, it's that he's not investigating Burisma and companies
This whole
like
thing's
it.
a
Nevertheless,
circus.
the administration
Agreed,
is
Dino
saying
Square.
that
Agreed. This whole thing is a circus. Thanks for watching my stream, by the way, Dino. Means a lot. Briz says, why do the YouTube presidential ads look like Fortnite thumbnails? They really do, though. Some of them are like, I don't like a lot of the advertising I'm seeing. Hope we can. I hope we get to see both of them in a fist fight. They were supposed to have those blockers, those shields up. They don't have them up anymore on the stage. This is starting in 20 minutes, and they don't have that up. Come on. They were gonna have the shields up. I wanted to keep the shields up so we could see them behind shields, and hopefully one of them can cough on one of them, and then we can see like the fog. Make it fog up the shield. I think that would be so funny. You know, Trump's gonna cough like once or twice during this. No problem. I love your streams. It helps me calm down. Aw, well, thank you, Dino. It helps me calm down knowing that there's a lot of good people like you watching my videos. It means a lot to me.
Rudy Giuliani for disinformation. But George, I don't think it's just going to be Ukraine and Russia.
Mike Hawk says the only N-word I know is knowledge. Get some. I believe I do have some knowledge.
Right, and what we know about that is that
That's a funny joke, though. Thank you. Britt says, bro, I've seen a few with red circles and starburst backgrounds. Yes, I've seen those too. I've seen one with a red arrow pointing. One of those classic, like, clickbait thumbnails. I've been seeing them on there too.
What about your Chinese bank account?
Dana says, oh, thank you.
We haven't seen yours. Does Joe Biden go after Ivanka Trump for trademarks, lucrative ones that she got from the Chinese government, followed by the administration?
Oh, I really hope Biden does go after Trump's wife. That I want to see Trump get pissed. I want to see Trump get mad, and then have his like little bitty hands, and he goes like this, and then goes like this. He does this. Then he does this. And then he does this. I'm trying to remember all the hand signals he does. There's memes about it. They're having difficulty trying to catch one damn fly in the room. Imagine if there was like 3 flies this time around. Like the first fly brought the other flies around. Imagine if that was a thing. Could be. Never know. Never, never know. Never, never know. This video is being reviewed to determine whether it's suitable for most advertisers. Let me monetize my stream. Please, YouTube. Man, I hate YouTube. Do you plan on to turn up the volume when the debate starts of the actual debate? I don't want to leave. I mean, if you guys can hear it fine, like a lot of you guys said you could hear the music getting played right here. It sounds like PS4, like the PS4 music. I mean, if you guys can hear it fine, I'm not going to turn it up. But if you guys think that you guys would like to actually hear a little bit more of it, I'll turn it up. But I'm going to be talking during the debate. I'll mainly be watching to see what they're talking about, but we'll see. It's starting in less than 20 minutes. No money, demonetized. I know. Demonetize. I need money. Please, please, please donate to a YouTuber in need. I'm not even a YouTuber. I'm just some guy who has no job needing money. I want to buy YouTube. Good luck. Google will not give up YouTube. You think they will hand out 2020 fly swatters? That would be smart. I mean, the government always complains on, like, you know, the president never always overspends, which is kind of unfair on the president, because what the Congress does is they'll hand them, they're like, okay, you need to spend this much, but here's your budget. And the budget's always less than the expenses that the president needs to spend. So if they sold fly swatters, I'm sure that budget would rise. I'm sure people would buy them. I would buy one. I'd order one in the mail right now. I would. 2020 fly swatters. That would be awesome. Nice thumbnail. Thank you. Worked really hard. You're just a starving artist. I am. I'm always starving, guys. I actually had some good Chinese food. I have a fortune cookie today. I forgot to open it. Let me open up my fortune cookie. What do you guys think my fortune cookie is? Before I open it, what do you guys think my fortune's gonna be? It's probably gonna be like, don't vote this year. Well, too late. Already did vote. Already did vote. Alright. Rube, I saw that self-promote. I didn't delete your message, someone else did. Don't be self-promoting here. Don't be self-promoting here, guys. I always eat the cookie before I see my fortune. This is some ASMR right now. Me crunching on a cookie. This cookie is sponsored by Panda Express. No. Open it and stream. That's what I'm doing right now. I haven't read it yet. You are going to get rich. Who did you vote for? I'm not saying who I voted for. I don't want to scare off half my audience just because I voted for someone. Alright, this is what my fortune says, guys. This is what my fortune says. Alright, you guys ready? I'm sorry about it. I did it without thinking. No, you're good, Rube. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. You're good. I love you still. I love you back. I love you back. Dennis Chris says, I finished off lo mein I bought today for lunch. I love lo mein. It's awesome. My fortune says, a friend's good advice will deliver great joy. I'll be looking out for a friend's great advice. I'll be looking out for that. Okay, what's going on? B movie. ASMR. Video is sponsored by Cove Audio. Yeah, Cove Audio. You want a good sponsor? You can hit me up. I promise. You ain't gonna have to deal with. You don't have to worry about pulling your, your sponsor from my video. I'm not a pedo like Minnie.
not to expand the court.
Please sponsor me, Cove. That'd be awesome. Real thugs eat the entire cookie with the fortune still in it.
He has held off on full-throatedly supporting it, but he has said that he is open to
I'm a frog.
He'll convene a commission to study it
Yuck.
and come back with a recommendation. So I think that's an important opening of the door to the possibility.
Not sponsored,
And I think a lot
guys.
will
Stop
turn
saying
on
it's sponsored.
what, Supreme Court with the Judge Amy Coney Barrett
Briz,
comment,
delete your
might do.
Briz
So,
says, delete your channel. Briz, your dear friend.
election issue, we could well see the Supreme Court
That does not bring me joy, Briz. Please, I don't want to delete my channel.
decided two important voting cases. In one, Chief Justice Roberts joined the liberals to allow extended
Who do you
access
think
to
will
voting
be
against
president or
elections.
still
In
be
the other, Chief
our
Justice joined the
president?
conservative to shut down
Honestly,
outside the Alabama. So
if we're being honest,
balanced on a nice
Biden
day
is leading in the
around some of
polls
these voting
by
issues.
far.
And Amy
That
Coney
last
proved decisive
that
in
last
some of these cases on the court. So I'll
debate
actually be watching very closely
hurt
tonight
Trump
to see
so
what
much.
the
Okay, the speaker first off was so much in favor, so much in favor.
resolve a potential election dispute. You know, she was not
The speaker was completely in favor of Biden. He was sitting here interrupting Trump all the time. He was asking Trump repetitive questions over and over again. And then he tried giving Biden as much, but Trump wasn't going to let up. And Trump interrupting seemed so childish. So that hurt Trump a lot. The speaker, the moderator at the last debate was not in favor of Trump, clearly. As you can see, he was not being fair. So Biden definitely got a lead on that last debate. So Biden's winning. Also, Trump sitting here saying don't vote, don't send in your ballots, is also hurting him as well. So I don't see anyone sending in their ballot voting for Trump as much as they would Biden. So right now, it looks like Biden's going to win. Do I think that's what's going to happen? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I don't know. Briz, good advice. Fuck you, Coda. 68 says, you almost committed to the joke. Yes. Good advice from Briz. Lamau. I'm joking, bro. I know you're joking. You will hit 100K by 2021 for though and stay consistent. I hope I hit 100K subs. I'm at like 41K right now, so I'm not there yet. Not there yet. But yeah. Anybody rooting for Biden? Is anyone rooting for Biden? I've only seen Trump supporters so far. I haven't seen too many. Well, I've seen some Trump supporters, and then I've seen people hate on both. I haven't really seen more. I haven't seen more. You definitely voting for Biden, lol.
And Terry, only Amy Coney
What?
Barrett decides whether or not she's going to recuse. It's entirely up to her.
It is. That's the freedom.
Some people are Biden fans up in here. Okay. I never said I was voting for Biden. I'm just saying Trump got demolished that last one, and Biden had a lot of room to speak. But if Biden were able to speak, he would have screwed up. And I think that's the strategy. A lot of Trump's administration is telling him, do not interrupt, let Biden screw up. And Biden will screw up. Biden cannot speak without screwing up. A lot of his personal interviews, so it kind of sucks because a lot of his personal interviews, he's been talking with people on the left. He doesn't really talk to people on the other side much. And when he does, they are kind of respectful of him. But Biden has screwed up many times in what he said. He sat here and said that one group it's not an organization. It's an idea. It's not a group. It's not an organization. Even though it is, it's that rioting group or whatever. That's a big screw up. It's a big screw up, and Trump called him out during the debate. I saw that as just. So if you want to sit here and say, I don't think it's smart to say that just assume I'm voting for Biden, because I think Biden has made a lot of mistakes. Just the same amount of mistakes Trump has in terms of these debates. Six Right says, my channel predictions, write this down. February 23rd of 2021, TJV sub count will be at 101,493. That's very exact. I hope so. I think I'm voting for Biden, but I'm considering maybe Joe Jorgensen. I have to look more into her.
Kate, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What's your gut tell you on what Justice Barrett, if indeed she is confirmed?
Antifa. That's what it is. Antifa. He says Antifa isn't an organization. It isn't a group. It isn't a thing. It's just an idea. That's all it is. Bull crap. Bull crap. Even people on the left were calling out Biden on that. Like, come on. Come on. Antifa is a thing. And it wasn't caused by Trump labeling people. It wasn't caused by that. Imagine if TJV blows up and hits 1 million by 2021. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Biden is a puppet with dementia. I don't know about that. I definitely think Biden shares a lot of different messages than what people on the left are. People on the left are very strange at this current time. Because who are you going to put against Trump, you know? They put Hillary, they put all their cards down on Hillary in 2016. That didn't work out for them. I think they were going to go for Bernie at one point, but that didn't obviously work out, so I don't know. Some people saying they just would vote for Biden just to see how it goes. Damn. $3 super chat from Nicholas. They both suck, my guy. Also here. What's that? Oh, that's cash. Thank you. Thanks for the $3 super chat. Means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you. Because I'm going to need the money because this stream is not going to make any money off monetization because YouTube hates me. Hate me. Bernie would have won if he didn't drop out. I mean, maybe. Don't know. Alright, 8 minutes until the debate happens. 8 minutes, guys. 8 minutes. If you haven't shared the stream around, this is the time to share it. It's happening. Less than 10 minutes. One of our future president will be on stage debating with another man. Don't know who that's going to be. But we'll see. Trevor, can you do an eye reveal? I don't have a third eye, so I can't do an eye reveal. If you're talking about one of my eyeballs I'm looking at you at right now, I've already done that reveal a long time ago. Long time ago. YouTube simping over mini lad. It feels like that. It do be feeling like that. But yeah, guys, about 7 minutes away. Almost 5 minutes away. This would be the time to share the stream if you're going to share the stream around. We'll see how this goes. I kind of like that I have 2 monitors now because now I'm able to look at you guys over here and the debate over here. It's nice having 2 separate monitors. It's honestly nice. Dino Square says, honestly, Biden has been in the Senate for 47 years and he's done worse for the communities he says he promotes. There's always a third party option too. I don't disagree with that statement at all. Biden has been in the Senate for 47 years. He's been in politics for a long time. And he hasn't done as great as other political candidates have done before in the past. There has been a lot of issues with him. But he has done some good too. But I have noticed that once I was doing my research for who I was going to vote for too. I always recommend that too. Make sure to do your research before you vote. When I was doing my research, I kind of started seeing that, and I was kind of making my presumptions on what would happen if Biden was going to become president, and then what happens if Trump would become president. And then after balancing the two out, what, you know, Trump's past 4 years and what he's done and what he promises to do 4 years on, and then Biden's last 47 years, and then what he promises to do if he becomes president. I have seen that, and want to see how it goes.
Today on the stage, you saw those plexiglass screens, which have now been
removed.
We're told it came after White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows made a request to Dr. Anthony Fauci to speak to the commission. He spoke to the commission, said that he did not believe the plexiglass screens were necessary because the candidates were 12 feet apart, so they will not.
$2 dono from Potato Gods. Mandra or Dio, I want to be president. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Another $2 super chat. I voted for Howie Hawkins for some reason. Thank you for the donos, it means a lot. Yeah, they removed the plexiglass. I noticed that. The plexiglass was up, but then they removed them. Apparently they talked to the commission and they didn't think they were necessary because they were so far apart. I don't think the plexiglass is needed either. I think they were going to turn it into some sort of meme anyways if they did it. Coda with a pineapple mug. Can we get a pineapple mug spam in the group chat? Please. That'd be nice.
Yeah, similar to David, does he respond with the Michelle Obama mantra of when they go low, we go high? Additionally,
why can't you edit comments? Because we want to see your mistakes. Got a square. Did they just say plexiglass screens for the first time? They might have said it. I don't know. I said plexiglass. Maybe they said plexiglass. If they did, that'd be weird.
Versus continued conflict and chaos. If you can keep it in that frame, which is therefore
4 minutes, guys. Let's 5 minutes away.
Donald Trump, and you're the answer and the antidote to a more calmer future. That's where you want this.
So you expect him to be talking a lot more to the audience than to Donald Trump?
Totally about them, their future, act and to just deflect Donald Trump. It's your children, your families, your future. That's what we're here to debate, not us.
Chris Christie, I hear that the White House aides have been showing President Trump videotapes of the last debate 4 years ago where they thought he did pretty well by at some point taking a lighter touch.
Yeah, that was
4
debate
minutes,
number
guys.
3 that we
away.
were showing in George, and I would tell you that what I'm looking for tonight are 2 things. One, the president's demeanor. How does he come across, and does he understand that tonight could be a night to attempt to charm some of the American people by talking to them about what his vision is for the next 4 years? If he doesn't do that,
thank you guys for having an active chat, by the way. I just had an issue pop up that my chat disconnected, and I thought I lost the internet. I'm going to say this now. It's storming where I'm at. So if at all the stream just ends randomly, it's because I lost internet. Okay, I'm running off Ethernet. I have really fast internet. I mean, everything's running fine so far. But if this at all ends, you know, the stream just ends randomly, I am so sorry, guys. I'll try my best. I mean, I can't do nothing about it, but if the storm ends up knocking out the internet, I'm so sorry. So I'm just letting you know now. Sorry if it ends, but I don't think it'll end. It ain't storming too bad, but it is storming right now, so hopefully the internet is not affected. Britt says, sorry, we're having a weeb council meeting in chat, GJV. Hey, go for it. I don't care. It's probably more interesting than this debate. You're all good. Where does TJV live? I live in Iowa.
It depends how he does it. Look, I think this is becoming a very legitimate
Her noise is annoying. $10 super chat from Cyberwolf. I was wondering when you would show up. Biden's wife out here trying to get 3 hours added to school. I haven't looked into that. Six Ray says lightning touchdown over here a little earlier, real close to the apartment. Yeah, it's storming. It's storming here. Sorry guys if I lose internet connection. I shouldn't lose internet connection. I should be good. I should be good. Chat keeps disconnecting and reconnecting for me. I mean, right now, chat's running fine. That was the first time I got it. The first time I got it was like a minute ago. It said it disconnected, but then it reconnected right afterwards. So that's why I went quiet for a second. I was like, oh, crap. It should be good.
In this program, how President Trump has been going after Christine Walker. You've been on the receiving end of that as well. What do you expect tonight?
I certainly have been on the receiving
Iowa
end
doesn't
of that.
exist. It does.
comes
I'm in the
after.
state of Iowa, I think.
The real thing to remember
Minute
is
and 15 seconds
Donald
left.
Trump thought he did a fabulous job in that train wreck of a debate, so it doesn't matter what aides say, it doesn't matter what all of us say. We'll see if he really believes that or he changes it up.
Matthew Dowd?
Why did this lady seem like she was about to cry when she said that?
Looking at Donald Trump in this because Joe Biden just has to stay steady and keep doing what he's doing. The question for me is, can Donald Trump be something different than he's been for 5 years? Can he get out of the bubble of everybody telling him the same thing over and over? And can he understand there's a whole group of voters out there that don't agree with him a lot and don't like him? And can he appeal to them in a fundamentally different way than he's done for 5 years? Because that's what he has to do.
That is a big question. Terry Moran, you get the last word.
And just to follow up on that,
Keyword should be good. Yes. Coda, having a brain fart right now. Iowa represent. Represent!
Fighting and the hatred. Can he do it?
The debate is coming right up. We'll be right back.
It's coming up. 15 seconds. This is live. Come on, I want to see him walk on the stage. Please have one of them trip. One of them trip. One of them trip. Ayo, last man standing. LOL, you live in a farm. I don't live in a farm. There's not just farmland here.
Like no other, with record-shattering voter turnout.
A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans.
And a limitless future.
We choose unity over division, science over fiction, and yes, we choose truth over lies. It's time to stand up and take back our democracy.
The final presidential debate.
So epic, guys.
From Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee.
So epic.
And ABC News election headquarters. Now reporting, Chief Anchor George Stephanopoulos.
So epic, guys.
Welcome back to our special coverage of tonight's final presidential debate, just moments away now, and that is the scene at Belmont University in Nashville, where President Trump and Vice President
So epic, guys. So epic.
90 minutes and take questions from moderator Kristen Welker of NBC News. Just 12 days to go in this election, almost 50 million Americans have already voted, a sign of the times, in a presidential race transformed by the pandemic and a sign of how engaged Americans are in this race.
TJVC live in Des Moines. No, Mike Hawk, there's not. Mike Hawk, there is other places in Iowa that are like city-like environments or town-like environments. Not every single place in Iowa there's a farm and a barn everywhere. That's not the truth at all. Not the truth at all, guys. Not the truth at all. Cyberwolf, $10 super chat. If I have chose the annoying orange grown up and the embodiment of the word old, I might as well move to Ireland where I wanted to live. Alright, thank you for the $10 super chat. Yeah, the mic's gonna be muted for some of it. They changed it. They said that they were gonna do mic muted while someone else is talking, and that's it. Now they're saying now the mic mute's gonna be some of it. So I don't think the mic's gonna be muted the entire time. They are gonna have that debate. They're gonna have it for a lot of the debate. Flies should be able to vote. Agree. But you know how many votes that would be? I don't think maybe they would vote. I think they would vote later on.
Giving the president any big openings here. He knows that Donald Trump is going to come after him with personal attacks.
Thank you for the $10 super chat, by the way, Wolf. Love you.
That this debate could get ugly, and Joe Biden is going.
This debate could be ugly.
Personal attacks, but he really doesn't want to get into the mud with the president. That is easier said than done. But instead, Joe Biden's goal here is really to stay laser focused on the president's handling of this pandemic and to try and talk just directly to the American people. So when Trump comes after him, Biden is going to argue this isn't about his family, this is about your family and what voters are looking for in their next president.
But Mary, Biden has admitted he lost his temper a little more than he wanted to at the last debate.
And George, I have to tell you, I have talked to Biden supporters who are not happy with the tone that they heard from the former vice president. He was very blunt, often very harsh. At one point, he even told the president of the United States to shut up. I think it will be interesting tonight to see whether he softens his tone at all against the president.
Okay, the debate is about
Biden did tell him to shut up. When he said that, I was like, oh. Several $5 super chat. Ever come down to New Orleans? If not, you should. It's a lot of fun down there. I might visit sometime. Oh, here it comes.
Good evening from Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Kristen Welker of NBC News.
Tennessee, here we go.
To the final 2020 presidential debate between President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Tonight's debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. It is conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Commission's health security advisor. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, boos, or other interruptions, except right now as we welcome to the stage former Vice President Joe Biden and President Donald J. Trump.
All right, here we go. No mask, Trump. That's obvious. Biden wearing his mask out, then taking it off. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Trump saying, how you doing?
Very good evening to both of you. This debate will cover 6 major topics. At the beginning of each section, each candidate will have 2 minutes uninterrupted To answer
$5 super chat, Boba
question,
Fett,
the debate
2020.
commission will then turn
Thank you for
on their
the
microphone only
$5
when
super
it is
chat.
their turn to answer, and the commission will turn it off
Raise the
exactly
stream
when
volume
the
up.
2 minutes have
All right.
expired. After that, both microphones will remain on.
Should be able to hear
but
it better
on
now.
behalf of the voters, I'm going to ask you to please speak one at a time. The goal is for you to hear each other and for the American people to hear every word of what you both have to say. And so with that, if you're ready, let's start.
Okay, let's go.
And we will begin with the fight against the coronavirus. President Trump, the first question is for you. The country is heading into a dangerous new phase. More than 40,000 Americans are in the hospital tonight with COVID, including record numbers here in Tennessee. And since the two of you last shared a stage, 16,000 Americans have died from COVID. So please be specific. How would you lead the country during this next stage of the coronavirus crisis? 2 minutes.
Good question.
So, as you
Good
know,
question.
2.2 million people modeled out were expected to die. We closed up the greatest economy in the world in order to fight this horrible disease that came from China. It's a worldwide pandemic.
This is going to
It's
be
all over the
bad,
world.
someone
You see the
said.
spikes in Europe and many other places right now. If you notice, the mortality rate is down 85%. The excess mortality rate is way down and much lower than almost any other country. And we're fighting it, and we're fighting it hard. There is a spike. There was a spike in Florida, and it's now gone. There was a very big spike in Texas. It's now gone. There was a very big spike in Arizona. It's now gone.
Trump just
And
looks
there
like he
are some
finished his spray
spikes and
tan, someone
surges in
said.
other places.
Thank
They
you,
will
Coda,
soon be
for that.
gone. We have a vaccine that's coming. It's ready. It's going to be announced within weeks, and it's going to be delivered. We have
Within weeks?
Operation Warp Speed, which is the military is going to distribute the vaccine. I can tell you from personal experience that I was in the hospital. I had it, and I got better. And I will tell you that I had something.
They do
that
have red and blue
gave me
ties.
A therapeutic.
Thank you, Coda,
I
for
guess
pointing
they
that
would
out.
call it. Some people could say it was a cure, but I was in for a short period of time.
$10
and I
super
got better
chat from
very fast,
Cyberwolf.
or I wouldn't be here
Biden's
tonight.
got that.
And now they say I'm
I'm
immune.
about to
Whether
end
it's
this
4
man's
months
whole
or a
career
lifetime,
look on his
nobody's been
face.
able to say that, but I'm immune.
Kind of looks like he's asleep right now. You guys see that?
Getting better. We have
Oh, he woke back up.
a problem that's a worldwide problem. This is a worldwide problem. But I've been congratulated by the heads of many countries on what we've been able to do. If you take a look at what we've done in terms of goggles and masks and gowns and everything else, and in particular ventilators, we're now making ventilators all over the world, thousands and thousands a month, distributing them all over the world. It will go away, and as I say, we're rounding the turn, we're rounding the corner. It's going away.
Okay, former Vice President Biden, to you, how would you lead the country out of this crisis? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
220,000 Americans
Is
dead.
Trump going to interrupt him?
If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially, anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America. We're in a situation where there are 1,000 deaths a day now, 1,000 deaths a day, and there are over 70,000 new cases per day. Compared to what's going on in Europe, as the New England Medical Journal said, they're starting from a very low rate. We're starting from a very high rate. The expectation is we'll have another 200,000 Americans dead between now and the end of the year. If we just wore these masks, the president's own advisors have told him, we could save 100,000 lives. And we're in a circumstance where the president thus far and still has no plan, no comprehensive plan. What I would do is make sure we have everyone encouraged to wear a mask all the time. I would make sure we move in the direction of rapid testing, investing in rapid testing. I would make sure that we set up national standards as to how to open up schools and open up businesses so they can be safe and give them the wherewithal, the financial resources to be able to do that.
Don't know.
We're in a situation now where the New England Medical Journal, one of the most serious journals in the whole world, said for the first time ever that the way this president has responded to this crisis has been absolutely tragic. And so, folks, I will take care of this. I will end this. I will make sure we have a plan.
President Trump, I'd like to follow up with you in your comments. You talked about taking a therapeutic. I assume you're referencing Regeneron. You also said a vaccine will be coming within weeks.
Yes.
Is that a
Weeks?
guarantee?
That's what shocks me.
No, it's not a guarantee, but it will be by the end of the year. But I think it has a good chance. There are two companies, I think, within a matter of weeks, and it will be distributed very quickly.
Can you tell us which companies?
Johnson & Johnson is doing very well. Moderna is doing very well. Pfizer is doing very well, and we have numerous others. Then we also
He
have
said
others
within
that we're
weeks, but
working
then he
on very
switched to the end of the
closely with
year.
Other countries, in particular Europe.
Let me follow up with you, and because this is
So
new
in weeks
information,
they'll
you
have it,
said a
but
vaccine
it
is
won't
coming
be-
soon within weeks now. Your
won't be
own officials say
confirmed.
It could take well into 2021 at the earliest for enough Americans to get vaccinated, and even then they say the country will be wearing masks and distancing into 2022. Is your timeline realistic?
No, I think my timeline is going to be more accurate. I don't know that they're counting on the military the way I
His
do, but we
timeline.
have our generals
Not
lined up,
professionals, but
one
his
in particular, that's the head of logistics, and this is a very easy distribution for him. He's ready to go as soon as we have the vaccine, and we expect to have 100 million vials. As soon as we have the vaccine, he's ready to go.
Vice President Biden, your reaction, and just 40% of Americans say they
Yeah,
would
he's
definitely
answering
agree
them pretty
to take
clean
a
cut, though.
coronavirus vaccine if it was approved by the government. What steps would you take to give Americans confidence in a vaccine if it were approved?
Make sure it's totally transparent. Have the scientists of the world see it, know it, look at it, go through all the processes. And by the way, this is the same fellow who told you this is going to end by Easter last time. This is the same fellow who told you that, don't worry, we're going to end this by
Biden-
the summer. We're about
he's
to
getting
go
at
on
him
a
right now.
dark winter, a dark winter. And he has no clear plan. and
$5
there's no
super chat from
prospect
Cyberwolf did
that there's gonna
those
be a
WWE
vaccine
2K
available for
20
a
videos I
majority of the
sent.
American people
See,
before the middle of
sent
next
you.
year.
I have not seen them, but I'll check them out.
Reaction, he says you
I
have
don't
no
think we're
plan.
going to have a dark winter at all. We're opening up our
Trump
country.
wanted to
We've
interrupt him
learned
so
and
badly
studied
there.
and understand the disease, which we didn't at the beginning. When I closed and banned China from coming in heavily infected. And then
So far,
ultimately
it's not
Europe.
that bad.
But
So
China
far, it's
was
not
in
that bad.
January. Months later, he was saying I was xenophobic. I did it too soon. Now he's saying, oh, I should have, moved quicker. But he didn't move quicker. He was months behind me, many months behind me. And frankly, he ran the H1N1 swine flu, and it was a total disaster, far less lethal, but it was a total disaster. Had that had this kind of numbers, 700,000 people would be dead right now, but it was a far less lethal disease. Look, his own person who ran that for him, who, as you know, was his chief of staff, said it was catastrophic, it was horrible, we didn't know what we were doing. Now he comes up and he tells us how to do this. Also, everything that he
The
said
debate
about
is
the way
better.
every
It's better than the
single
last
move
one.
that
The
he
last
said
one
we
was a
should
shit
make,
show.
that's what we've done. We've done all of
This
it.
is better
But he
so
was
far.
way behind
Oh,
us.
Biden's shaking his head.
Biden, your response.
My response is he is xenophobic, but not because he shut down access from China. And he did it late after 40 countries had already done that. In addition to that, what he did, he made sure that we had
Trump,
44
oh.
people that were in there in China trying to get to Wuhan to determine what exactly the source was. What did the president say in January? He said, no, he said, he's being
Cyberwolf,
transparent.
$5 super chat. I
The
came here to see
president of China is being
UFC
transparent.
Old People
We owe him a
Edition.
debt of
Me too.
gratitude.
I'll wait.
We have to thank him.
Might come.
And then what happened was we started talking about using the Defense Act to make sure we go out and get whatever is needed out there to protect people. And again, I go back to this. He had nothing. He did virtually nothing. And then
Thank
he
you for
gets
the
out
super
of the
chat, Seb
hospital
Wolf.
and he talks about don't worry, it's all going to be over soon. Come on. There's not another serious scientist in the world who thinks it's going to be over soon.
President Trump, your reaction?
Say over soon. I say we're learning to live with it. We have no choice. We can't lock ourselves up.
So they're just going back and forth. There's no interrupting yet.
He has
At
the
least not
ability
yet.
to lock himself up. I don't know. He's obviously made a lot of money someplace, but he has this thing about living in a basement. People can't do that. By the way, I, as the president, couldn't do that. I'd love to put myself in the basement or in a beautiful room in the White House.
You mimicking
and go
him is the
away for a
highlight of
year
my
and a
day.
half
Oh, the
until it
hands?
disappears. I can't do that. And Kirsten, every meeting I had, and I'd meet a lot of families, including Gold Star families and military families, every meeting I had, and I had to meet them. I had to. It would be horrible to have canceled everything. I said, this is dangerous, and you catch it. And I caught it. I learned a lot. Great doctors, great hospitals.
Great doctors, great hospitals.
And now I recovered. 99.9.
You recovered.
of young people recover. 99% of people recover. We have to recover. We can't close up our nation. We have to open our school, and we can't close up our nation, or you're not going to have a nation.
And of course, the CDC has said young people can get sick with COVID-19 and can pass it. Vice President Biden, I want to talk broadly about strategy, though.
$5 super chat from Cyberwolf.
30 seconds, please, and then I have a question.
Number one.
I don't know if you caught this, but Biden just laughed at Trump. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
People are learning to die with it. You folks home will have an empty chair at the kitchen table this morning. That man or wife going to bed tonight and reaching over to try to touch their, out of habit, where their wife or husband was, is gone. Learning to live with it. Come on. We're dying with it because he has never said, you said it's dangerous.
Biden pulling out
When's
big
the last
words.
time? Is it really dangerous still? Are we dangerous? You tell the people it's dangerous now? What should they do about the danger? And you say, I take no responsibility.
Let me talk about your two.
Excuse me, I take full responsibility. It's not my fault that he came here. It's China's fault. And you know what? It's not Joe's fault that he came here either.
China's fault.
It's China's fault.
China's
they kept
fault.
it from going into the rest of China for the most part, but they didn't keep it from coming out to the world, including Europe and ourselves.
Vice President Biden.
The fact is that when we knew it was coming,
They're just going to go back and forth. None of them are going to be able to end
What
it.
did the president say? He said, don't worry. It's going to go away. Be gone by Easter. Don't worry. The warm weather. Don't worry. Maybe inject bleach. He said he was kidding when he said that, but a lot of people thought it was serious. A whole range of things the president has said. Even today, he thinks we are in control. We're about to lose 200,000 more people.
Agreed, Sam. Agreed with your comment.
President Trump.
Look, perhaps just to finish this, I was kidding on that, but just to finish this, when I closed, he said I shouldn't have closed. And that went on for months.
I was kidding about that.
She said the same thing. She was dancing on the streets in Chinatown in San Francisco. When I closed, he said, this is a terrible thing.
Oh, my God.
Like, I think he called me racist even. And because I was closing it to China. Now he says I should have closed it earlier. It just, Joe, it doesn't work.
I didn't say either of those things.
Oh, they're going back and forth now. They're going back and forth.
I talked about a xenophobia in a different context. It wasn't about closing.
You should have an interruption counter put on the screen. I will do that at some point, but I won't be able to do this stream. $2 super chat from Light and Dragon. Thank you. I agree with Biden. We don't want to live with it. Nobody wants to live with it.
Is that, do you want
Nobody
to respond
does.
to that quickly, Vice President?
$5 super chat. Damn, Biden just got dark. Trump interrupted Biden, and now he's calling out China. Jesus Christmas.
Scientists recommended it.
Thank you for the super chats, guys. Love you.
That the cost of shutdowns, the impact on the economy, the higher rates of hunger, depression, domestic and substance abuse outweighs the risk of exposure.
Come on,
to the
Biden, don't
virus.
take the
What I
bait.
would say is I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country. It's his ineptitude that caused the country to have to shut down in large part. Why businesses have gone under, why schools are closed, why so many people have lost their living.
You're just
and
going to
why
be
they're
pointing at
concerned.
each other the
Those
entire
other
time.
concerns are real. That's why he should have been, instead of in a sand trap in his golf course, he should have been negotiating with Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Democrats and Republicans about what to do about the acts they were passing for billions of dollars to make sure people had the capacity.
But you haven't ruled out more shutdowns.
Oh, well, no, I'm not shutting down the name, but there are, look, you need standards. The standard is if you have a reproduction rate in a community.
You're kind of
that's
shutting
above a
down the
certain
nation,
level,
man. You kind of are,
everybody says,
Biden.
slow
You
up.
kind of are.
More social distancing.
You kinda are.
Do not open bars and do not open gymnasiums. Do not open until you get this under control, under more control. But when you do open, give the people the capacity to be able to open and have the capacity to do it safely. For example, schools. Schools, they need a lot of money to open. They need to deal with ventilation systems. They need to deal with smaller classes, more teachers, more pods. And he's refused to support that money, or at least up to now.
Let's talk about schools. President Trump,
I think we have to
Trump?
respond, if I might.
please, and then I have a follow-up.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. Look, all he does is talk about shutdowns, but forget about him. His Democrat governors,
Biden.
Cuomo in New York. You look at what's going
Come
on
on.
in California. You look at
Come on, rile it up,
North
rile it up.
Carolina. Democrats all. They're shut down so tight, and they're dying. They're dying. And he supports all these people. All he talks about is shutdowns. No, we're not going to shut down, and we have to open our schools. And it's like, as an example, I have a young son. He also tested positive. By the time I spoke to the doctor the second time, he was fine. It just went away. Young people.
$5 super
I guess
chat.
it's their immune system.
Let me follow
I
up
said,
with you,
well, if
President
Biden's
Trump. You've
going way
demanded
harder
schools
than I
open
thought
in
he
person
would, I
and
thought
insist
he
they can do
would
it safely. But just
avoid trash
yesterday,
talk. No, he's
Boston
going to go
became
out.
the
Trump's not
latest city to
stopping.
move its public school
I'm waiting for
system
Trump to get
entirely
really riled
online
up.
after a
He's just
coronavirus
warming up,
spike. What is
guys.
your
Trump's
message
going to
to
get
parents
more
who
riled
worry
up, and
that sending
Biden, he
their
might
children to
get riled
school
up
will
too.
endanger not
He
only
might.
their kids, but
This is
also
the
their
final
teachers and
debate.
families?
This matters. This will affect the final decision of this election. They have to. They both have to nail it, guys. They have to.
Open our country. We're not going to have a country. You can't do this. We can't keep this country closed. This is a massive country with a massive economy. People are losing their jobs. They're committing suicide. There's depression, alcohol, drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. There's abuse, tremendous abuse. We have to open our country. You know, I've said it often. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. And that's what's happening.
Oh,
and
Biden, he's got to speak up.
Close down the country. If one person in our massive bureaucracy says we should close it down.
Vice President Biden, your response.
Simply not true. We ought to be able to walk and chew gum.
They're speaking quick, guys. They're getting on this quick.
We ought to be able to safely open, but would they need resources to open? You need to be able to, for example, if you're going to open a business, have social distancing within the business. You need to have, if you have a restaurant, you need to have plexiglass dividers so people cannot infect one another. You need to be in a position where you can take testing rapidly and know whether a person is in fact infected. You need to be able to trace. You need to be able to provide all the resources that are needed to do this. And that is not inconsistent with saying that what we're going to make sure that we open safely. And by the way, all you teachers out there, not that many of you are going to die, so don't worry about it. So don't worry about it. Come on.
President Trump, let me follow up with you quickly.
By the way, I will say this. If you go and look at what's happened to New York, it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town. And when you talk about plexiglass, these are restaurants that are dying. These are businesses with no money. Putting up plexiglass is unbelievably expensive, and it's not.
It seems like Biden's fight is more for the people. He doesn't want the people to die, but Trump doesn't want the businesses to die. They both care about the people,
You just can't.
but they have more priorities to deal with this COVID thing.
For so many years, I loved it. It was vibrant. It's
Biden could ruin the economy so badly if he went Biden's way, but Trump's way could save the economy but affect more lives.
And I don't look at this in terms of the way he does. Blue states and red states. They're all the United States. And look at the states that are having such a spike in the coronavirus. They're the red states. They're the states in the Midwest. They're the states in the upper Midwest. That's where the spike is occurring significantly. But they're
Midwest, my
Americans.
state's been doing all right.
Americans. And what we have to do is say, wear these masks, number one.
Which we are. In my state, we are.
That the businesses need that has
Not every business requires it, but most of them.
To do that, it's been out there since the beginning of the summer, and nothing's happened.
President, New York has lost more than 40,000 people, 11,000 people in nursing homes.
President Trump, what about...
When you say spike,
Oh.
Take a look at what's happening in Pennsylvania, where they've had it closed. Take a look at what's happening with your friend.
$5 to Chef Server with the new Epic Fortnite crossover reveal.
It's been like
Can you imagine if Biden and Trump were in Fortnite?
Take a look at North Carolina. They're having spikes, and they've been closed, and they're getting killed financially. We can't let that happen, Joe. You can't let that happen. We have to open up. And we understand the disease. We have to protect our seniors. We have to protect our elderly. We have to protect especially our seniors with heart problems and diabetes problems. And we will protect them. We have the best testing in the world by far. That's why we have so many cases.
Let me follow up with you before we move on to our next section.
We have so many cases, number, because our testing's better. Testing isn't so difficult when it comes to doing COVID. When we're testing for COVID, it's not that difficult. It isn't like we have such an advanced testing, that's why our numbers are so high. No, our numbers are so high. It's because COVID has hit us hard. Trump has tried to sit here and justify the numbers. He's tried to justify the numbers for a long time.
As you know,
long time.
This is not going to be a problem. I think he's a Democrat, but that's okay. He said this is not going to be a problem. We are not going to have a problem at all.
Trump throwing the shade.
I said, Anthony Fauci said, and others, and many others, and I'm not knocking him a lot. Nobody knew. Look, nobody knew what this thing was. Nobody knew where it was coming from, what it was. We've learned a lot. But Anthony said, don't wear masks. Now he wants to wear masks. Anthony also said, if you look back, exact words, here's his exact words, this is no problem. This is going to go away soon. So
Biden's
he's
like
allowed
giving
to
him the
make
eye.
mistakes. He happens to be a good person.
Vice President Biden, your
Biden
response
wants to
quickly,
speak
and then
up
we're gonna move
badly.
on to the next section.
My response is that think about what the president knew in January and didn't tell the American people. He was told this was a serious virus that spread in the air, and it was much worse than.
Ooh, that was a bad word by Trump.
He went on record and said to one of your colleagues.
Yeah, I'm realizing that he's
in fact, he knew how
President
dangerous it
President
was, but
Trump
he didn't
is
wanna
he's
tell
all
us.
he's saying.
He
He's
didn't
saying
wanna
the
tell us
issues,
things.
but
He
he's
didn't
not
want us to
saying
panic.
how to fix them.
He didn't want us. Americans don't panic. He panicked.
And he doesn't
But
even
guess
really
what?
act on
In the
it when
meantime,
he
we find out
says
the
how
New
to
York
fix it
Times
too.
the
He
other
doesn't
day
even
that,
really
in fact,
enforce
his folks
the
went to
way
Wall
to
Street
fix a
and
lot of
said,
these
"This is a
solutions
really
he's talking
dangerous
about.
thing," and a memo out of
Because
that
if he was going to do it, he had the
not
last
from
few
his
months to do it.
administration, but from some of the
He had all
brokers
this
said,
year to do
"Sell
it.
short because we got to get moving." It's a dangerous problem.
Well, this is
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to respond, and then we're
The
going
Wall
to
Street
move
one,
on.
I don't know. Somebody went to Wall Street. You're the one that takes all the money from Wall Street. I don't take it. You have raised.
Oh, it's getting close.
Money. And every time you raise money, deals are made, Joe. I could raise so much more money as president and as somebody that knows most of those people. I could call the heads of Wall Street, the heads of every company in America. I would blow away every record, but I don't want to do that because it puts me in a bad position. And then you bring up Wall Street. You shouldn't be bringing up Wall Street because you're the one that takes the money from Wall Street, not me. I could blow away your records that like you wouldn't believe. We don't need money. We have plenty of money. In fact, we beat Hillary Clinton with a tiny fraction of the money that she was able.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to move on.
Average contribution $43.
All right, we're going to move on to our next section, which is
Average contribution
security.
$43, guys.
I
want to point that out
security
there.
of our elections and some
Jesus,
breaking
you're
news
boasting
from
about
overnight.
money right
Just
now.
last
Move
night,
on.
Top intelligence officials confirmed again that both Russia and Iran are working to influence this election. Both countries have obtained U.S. voter registration information.
Trump, I don't
these
take money
officials
from Wall
say,
Street.
And Iran sent intimidating messages to Florida voters. This
Florida
question
voters,
goes to you,
okay.
Mr. Vice President. What would you do to put an end to this threat? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
I made it clear, and I ask everyone else to take the pledge. I made it clear that any country, no matter who it is, that interferes in American elections will pay a price. They will pay a price. And it's been overwhelmingly clear this election, I won't even get into the last one, this election, that Russia has been involved, China has been involved to some degree, and now we learn that Iran is involved. They will pay a price if I'm elected. They're interfering with American sovereignty. That's what's going on right now. They're interfering with American sovereignty.
I wonder. I want to know what Trump's response is to this.
Anything to Putin about it. I don't think
What's his
he's
opinion on
spoken a
this?
lot. I don't think he said a word. I don't know why he hadn't said a word to Putin about it. And I don't know what he has recently said, if anything, to the Iranians. My guess is he'd probably be more outspoken.
The moderator's been
with
kind
regard
of
to the
civil so
Iranians.
far.
But the point is this, folks.
She's been allowing them
We are
both
in
to
a
speak when they want to
situation
speak.
where we have
I think she should enforce it more.
countries trying to
Because they kept,
interfere in
they're
the
going to go back and forth
His
way
own-
too long
own
if
national
they don't.
security advisor
If
told
she
him
doesn't
that
step up and tell
what
him to
is
stop.
happening with his buddy, well, I shouldn't. Well, I will. His buddy, Rudy Giuliani, he's being used as a Russian pawn. He's being fed information that is Russian, that is not true. And then what happens? Nothing happens. And then you find out that
is Russian.
everything that's going
That
on
is not
here
true.
about Russia is wanting to make sure that I do not get elected the next president of the United States because they know I know them, and they know me. I don't understand why this president is unwilling to take on Putin when he's actually paying bounties to kill American soldiers in Afghanistan, when he's engaged in activities that are trying to destabilize all of NATO. I don't know why he doesn't do it, but it's worth asking the question, why isn't that being done? Any country that interferes with us will, in fact, pay a price because they're affecting our sovereignty.
President Trump, same question to you. Let me ask the question. You're going to have 2 minutes to respond. For 2 elections in a row now, there has been substantial interference from foreign adversaries. What would you do in your next term to put an end to this? 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, let me respond to the first part as Joe answered. Joe got $3.5 million from Russia, and it came through Putin because he was very friendly with the former mayor of Moscow, and it was the mayor of Moscow's wife.
Yeah.
And you got $3.5 million. Your family got $3.5 million, and you know, someday you're going to have to explain why did you get 3.5. I never got any money from Russia. I don't get money from Russia. Now, about your thing last night, I knew all about that, and through John Ratcliffe, who is fantastic.
Come on, Biden, you got him back here. You're gonna shit talk him.
Common to both of them, they both want
Oh
you
my
to
God.
lose, because there has been nobody tougher to Russia. Between the sanctions, nobody tougher than me on Russia. Between the sanctions, between all of what I've done with NATO, I've got the NATO countries to put up an extra $130 billion, going to $420 billion a year. That's to guard against Russia. I sold, while he was selling pillows and sheets, I sold tank busters to Ukraine. There has been nobody tougher.
Biden looking at him so weird, like, what are you talking about?
Donald Trump. And I'll tell you, they were so bad. They took over the submarine port. You remember that very well during your term.
Quick,
during
TJV
you and
isn't looking
Barack
at
Obama.
chat. Let's
They
act
took
like
over
there's
a big
6,000
part
people
of
watching.
What should have been Ukraine. You handed it to them, but
Saw
you were
that,
getting
man.
a lot of
Saw
money
that.
from Russia. They were
Nice
paying
try.
you a lot of money, and they probably still are. But now, with what came out today, it's even worse. All of the emails, the horrible emails of the kind of money that you were raking in, you and your family.
Briz, I saw what you
And
typed,
Joe,
man.
you were
Come
vice
on, I'm looking
president
at
when
chat.
some of this was happening.
You
And
got
it
that
should
dual
have
monitor
never
set up.
happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the American people. Why is it? Somebody just had a news conference a little while ago who was essentially supposed to work with you and your family, but what he said was damning. And regardless of me, I think you have to clean it up and talk to the American people. Maybe you can do it right now.
Vice President Biden, you may respond. 30 seconds, and then I do
Oh, his
follow
mic
up
was
on
cut
the-
out when he started talking.
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life. We learned that this president paid 50 times the tax in China, has a secret bank account with China, does business in China, and in fact is talking about me taking money. I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever, ever. Number one. Number two, this is a president, I have released all of my tax returns, 22 years. Go look at them. 22 years of my tax return. You have not released a single solitary year of your tax return. What are you hiding? Why are you unwilling? The foreign countries are paying you a lot. Russia's paying you a lot. China's paying you a lot. And your hotels and all your businesses all around the country, all around the world. And China's building a new road to a new a golf course you have overseas. So what's going on here? Why don't release your tax return or stop talking about corruption?
President Trump, your response.
First of all, I called my accountants, underwrote it. I'm going to release them as soon as we can. I want to do it, and it'll show how successful, how great this.
He's been
company
saying
is.
that for a
But
long
much
time,
more
Trump. You've been
importantly
saying
than
it for a
that,
long
people were
time.
saying $750. I asked them a week ago. I said, "What did I pay?" They said, "Sir, you prepaid tens of millions of dollars." I prepaid my tax. Tens over the last number of years. Tens of millions of dollars I prepaid. Because at some point they think it's an estimate. They think I may have to pay tax. So I already prepaid it. Nobody told me that.
Did your accountant
Nobody
tell you
told
when
you
you
that.
released
Excuse
them?
me. And it wasn't written whenever they write this.
She asked a legitimate question. When will you release them?
Filing fee.
She goes, hold on.
Just tell you, I prepaid millions and millions of dollars in taxes. Number one. Number two, I don't make money from China. You do. I don't make money from Ukraine. You do. I don't make money from Russia. You made $3.5 million, Joe, and your son gave you. They even have a statement that we have to give 10% to the big man. You're the big man, I think. I don't know. Maybe you're not, but you're the big man, I think. Your son said we have to give 10% to the big man. Joe, what's that all about? It's terrible.
All right, gentlemen, I want to ask you both some questions
The big man.
about all of this, but I'm going to let you both respond very quickly. You just said you spoke to your accountant about potentially releasing your
Yeah,
taxes.
ask that question.
Did he tell you when you can release them? Do you have a deadline for when you're going to release them
I
to the
get
American
treated
people?
worse than the Tea Party got treated. Because
you
I have a
don't
lot
have
of
the
people
time.
in
Oh,
there
my God.
deep down in the IRS. They treat me horribly. We made a deal. It was all settled until I
The
decided.
Salian brothers, screw the debate. I want cheeseburgers, fire up the girl. That sounds better than this.
But we had a deal all done. As soon as we're completed with the deal,
His
I
tax
want
is
to
just
release
going
it.
towards
But
the spray tan
I have
salons.
paid
True coda,
millions
true.
and millions of dollars, and it's worse than paying. I paid in advance. It's called prepaying your taxes. I paid in advance.
I want to ask you both about questions regarding your potential foreign entanglements.
So
and
Biden ain't
questions
gonna be
that
able to
have been raised
respond to
give you both
that.
a chance to talk about this more broadly. Respond very quickly, and then I'll get to my question.
Why did he's been saying this for 4 years? Show us. Just show us. Stop playing around. You've been saying for 4 years you're going to reduce your taxes. Nobody knows, Mr. President. What they do know is you're not
Trump's
paying
upset.
taxes,
Trump
or
is
you're paying
upset.
taxes that are so low. When last time he said what he paid, he said, I only paid
Oh
a little
my
because I'm
God.
smart. I know how to game the system. Come on. Come on, folks.
So,
President Trump, and then I want to get to two questions to both of you on this.
I was put through a phony witch hunt for 3 years. It started before I even got elected. They spied on my campaign. No president should ever have to go through what I went through. Let me just say this. Mueller and 18 angry Democrats and FBI agents all over the place spent $48 million. They went through everything I had, including my tax returns, and they found absolutely no collusion and nothing wrong. $48 million. I guarantee you, if I spent $1 million on you, Jill, I could find plenty wrong. Because the kind of things that you've done and the kind of monies that your family has taken, I mean, your brother made money in Iraq, millions of dollars. Your other brother made a fortune, and it's all through you, Joe. And they say you get some of it, and you do live very well. You have houses all over the place. You live very well.
All right, gentlemen, let me just ask some questions about all of this broadly. Vice President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done.
See, that's the thing. They're going to keep throwing stuff at each other.
Company when you were vice president.
They're going to keep throwing stuff at each other.
Was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal. With regard to Ukraine, we had this whole question about whether or not, because he was on the board, I later learned of a Burisma, a company.
Trump shaking his
I
head.
had done something
Trump shaking
wrong.
his hand.
Yet every single solitary person, when he was going through his impeachment, testifying under oath who worked for him, said, I did my job impeccably. I carried out U.S. policy. Not one single solitary thing was out of line. Not a single thing, number one. Number two, the guy who got in trouble in Ukraine was this guy trying to bribe the Ukrainian government to say something negative about me, which they would not do and did not do because it never, ever, ever happened.
He looks a little scary sometimes. He kind of looks like a skeleton.
In terms of this thing about, what are you talking about?
I don't know why.
I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
President Trump, let me ask my question to you.
$2 super chat, Sam Brothers. Fire up, fire. We're making s'mores.
Didn't have a job for a long time.
Thank you for $2 super chat, man.
No
Means a lot.
longer in the military service. I won't get into that. And he didn't have a job. As soon as he became vice president, Burisma,
$5 super chat, Madra. Anyone else losing brain cells watching this hot garbage? Yep, thanks for the $5 super chat.
Listen to this.
Listen to this.
183, and they gave him a $3 million upfront payment.
All right.
And he had no energy.
I'm going to let the vice president respond to that quickly, and then I need to get to a question to you.
No basis for that. Everybody investigated that. No one said anything he did was wrong in Ukraine.
Okay, President Trump, this is for you. Since you took office, you've never divested from your business. You've personally promoted your properties abroad. A report this week, which was referenced, does indicate that your company has a bank account in China. So how can voters know that you don't have any foreign conflicts of interest?
I have many bank accounts, and they're all listed, and they're all over the place. I mean, I was a businessman doing business. The bank account you're referring to, which is, everybody knows about it, it's listed. The bank account was in 2013. That's what it was. It was opened it was closed in 2015, I believe. And then I decided, because I was thinking about doing a deal in China like millions of other people. I was thinking about it, and I decided I'm not going to do it. Didn't like it. I decided not to do it.
Why didn't you like it?
Account open, and I closed it.
Okay.
Why didn't you like it?
Excuse me. And then, unlike him, where he's vice president and he does business, I then decided to run for president after that. That was before. So I closed it before I even ran for president, let alone became president. Big difference. He is the vice president of the United States, and his son, his brother, and his other brother are getting rich. They're like a vacuum cleaner. They're sucking up money every
Trump,
place
thank you. We do need to move on. I do want to ask you.
Thank you, Sam, for the interruption counters in the chat. That means a lot. Keep up on that, Sam. It's very helpful.
Of course, President Trump has said that they should pay for not being fully transparent in regards to the coronavirus. If you were president, would you make China pay? And please be specific. What would that look like?
What I'd make China do is play by the international rules, not like he has done. He has caused the deficit of China to go up, not down.
Okay.
with China. Up,
I hear
down.
it's storming really bad,
We are
guys.
making
Hopefully
sure
this
that in
stream
order to
doesn't
do
crash.
business in China,
It's
you
going
have
well
to
so
give
far. Got
all your
260
intellectual
viewers. Thank you
property.
everyone
have
for
to
watching so
have
far.
a partner in China is 51%. We would not do that at all, number one. Number two, we're in a situation where
$2 super chat from
China
saying
would
brothers
have to
making
play by
s'mores.
the
Who
rules
wants some? I'll
internationally
take
as
one.
well.
Thank you for the $2
When
super
I
chat.
met with Xi, when I was still vice president, he said we're setting up air identification zones in the South China Sea. You can't fly through them. I said we're going to fly through them. We just flew B-52, B-1 bombers through it. We're not going to pay attention. They have to play by the rules. And what's he do? He embraces guys like the thugs like in North Korea and the Chinese president and Putin and others, and he pokes his finger in the eye of all of our friends, all of our allies. We make up we're 25% of the world's economy. We need to be having the rest of our friends with us saying to China, these are the rules. You play by them or you're going to pay the price for not paying by them.
All right, you're going to make people play by the rules.
That's the way I will run it, and that's what we did in upholding steel tariffs and a range of other things when we were president and vice president.
All right, let's talk about North Korea.
Excuse me, no, I have to respond to that.
Okay. Very quickly, then we're going to move on to North Korea.
I have to respond to that.
After spending 10 minutes in office and being in...
Oh, Biden's interrupting.
Number one. Number two, there's a very strong email talking about your family wanting to make $10 million a year for introductions.
President Trump, on China policy, though, what specifically
No,
are you going to do? What specifically are you going to do to make China pay? You've said you're going to make them pay.
China is paying. They're paying billions and billions of dollars. I just gave $28 billion.
New sanctions?
I just gave $28 billion to our farmers.
Taxpayers' money.
It's what?
Taxpayers' money. Didn't come from China.
You know, the taxpayer it's called China. China paid $28 billion, and you know what they did to pay it, Joe?
You know who it is? It's China. His eyes got so wide there.
Great farmers, because they would target it. You never charged them anything. Also, I charged them 25%.
Yeah, taxpayers. It's called China.
Because they were killing our steel.
Guys, it's called China.
Okay.
And now we have a steel.
Okay, Vice President Biden, your response, please.
Our response is, look, this isn't about. There's a reason why he's bringing up all this malarkey. There's a reason for it. He doesn't want to talk
guys,
about
okay.
the
Okay, guys, I'll tell you
this.
this.
It's not about his family and my family. It's about your family. And your family's hurting badly. If you're making
all right.
if you're a middle
He
class
sat here and
family,
goes, yeah, taxpayer dollars. $28 got paid out. Yeah, taxpayers' money. Yeah, taxpayers. It's called China.
Because we have to wait another month or so. Or are we going to be able to pay the mortgage? Or who's going to tell her she can't go back to community college? They're the decisions you're making.
Oh my God, Trump, please do that again. Your attitude, Trump, you got some sass.
We should be talking about your family.
Come
That's
on.
the last thing he wants to talk about.
I want to talk about North Korea. I do want to turn to 10 seconds, Mr. President.
That's
10
a
seconds.
typical political statement. Let's get off this China thing, and then he looks, the family, around the table, everything. Just a typical politician when I see that.
Let's talk about
North Korea politician.
Okay,
that's why I got elected. That was
Oh.
the subject of China. Let's talk around, sitting around the table.
All right.
Come on, Joe, you can do better.
We're going to talk about North Korea now. President Trump has met with North Korea.
Come on, Joe, you can do better. It's going right back to the first one. They're just insulting each other. It's whoever can get a better word in at this point.
And yet North Korea recently rolled out its biggest ever intercontinental ballistic missile.
Intercontinental champion.
Its nuclear arsenal. Do you see that as a betrayal of the relationship you forged?
Taxpayers, yeah, it's called China.
We need to get on to the next.
So when I met with Barack Obama, we sat in the White House right at the beginning, had a great conversation. It was supposed to be 15 minutes, and it was well over an hour. He said the biggest problem we have with North Korea. He indicated we will be in a war with North Korea. Guess what? It would be a nuclear war, and he does have plenty of nuclear capability. In the meantime, I have a very good relationship with him. Different kind of a guy, but he probably thinks the same thing about me. We have a different kind of a relationship. We have a very good relationship, and there's no war. And you know, about 2 months ago, he broke into a certain area. They said, oh, there's going to be trouble. I said, no, they're not, because he's not going to do that. And I was right. Look, instead of being in a war,
2020 presidential dumpster fire 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Millions and
Thank you,
millions,
Sam, for that.
32 million people, and so millions of people would be dead right now.
President
We
Trump,
don't have
that's
a war,
30
and I have a
seconds.
good
Thank you.
This
relationship.
debate's turned into Jerry Springer show. True, Briz, true. Very true.
Under the Obama administration. Why do you think you would be able to rein in this persistent threat?
Because I'd make it clear, which we were making clear to China, they had to be part of the deal. Because here's I made it clear, and as a spokesperson of the administration when I went to China, that they said, why are you moving your missile defense up so close? Why are you moving more forces here? Why are you continuing to do military maneuvers with South Korea? I said, because North Korea is a problem, and we're going to continue to do it so we can control them. We're going to make sure we can control them and make sure they cannot hurt us. And so if you want to do something about it, step up and help. If not, it's going to continue. What has he done? He's legitimized
every
North
single
Korea.
every single election.
A thug, and he talks about how we're better off, and they have much more capable missiles, able to reach U.S.
Every single election,
much more easily than
there's a candidate who wants to start another world war with someone. They just want to go poke on another foreign, they just want to poke on another foreign country. Make them seem like the commander-in-chief. We got to deal with China. We got to deal with Russia.
All right, let's move
We
on
got to deal with North Korea.
American families.
Trump did the same thing in
They
2016.
tried to meet with him. He wouldn't do it. He didn't like Obama. He didn't like him. He wouldn't do it.
Okay, I got to give him a chance to respond to that before we move on.
And that's okay. You know what, North Korea, we're not in a war. We have a good relationship. You know, people don't understand. Having a good relationship with leaders of other countries is a good thing.
We have a lot of questions to get to. Your response.
Saying we had a good relationship with Hitler before he, in fact, invaded Europe, the rest of Europe. Come on. The reason he would not meet with President Obama is because President Obama said, we're going to talk about denuclearization. We're not going to legitimize you, and we're going to continue to put stronger and stronger sanctions on you. That's why he wouldn't meet with us.
All right,
and it didn't happen.
Let's move on and talk about American families.
He left me a mess, Kristen.
President Trump, okay, we do need to move on.
They left me a mess. North Korea was a mess.
See, she can't get a word in on him.
The first 2 or 3 months, there was a very dangerous period in my first 3 months before we sort of worked things out a little bit.
Okay.
There was a they left us a mess, and Obama would be, I think, the first to say it was the single biggest problem he thought that our country.
Okay, let's move on to American families and the economy.
Oh, pretty big statement there.
I
I'm sure Obama's watching this.
Healthcare, as you both know. Today there was a key vote.
All right, probably shouldn't have mentioned Hitler. That's a big oof. Yeah, that is. Have you guys see that when Biden mentioned Hitler?
Over 20 million Americans.
That's why I looked at the camera weird. I was like,
through the Affordable Care Act.
I wouldn't have done that.
And your administration, Mr. President, is
probably lost a
advocating
few
for the
voters
court to
there.
overturn
Not gonna lie.
If the Supreme Court does overturn that law, those 20 million Americans could lose their health insurance almost overnight. So what would you do if those people have their health insurance taken away? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Sure. First of all, I've already done something that nobody thought was possible. Through the legislature, I terminated the individual mandate. That is the worst part of Obamacare, as we call it. The individual mandate where you have to pay a fortune for the privilege of not having to pay for bad health insurance. I terminated. It's gone. Now it's in court because Obamacare is no good. But then I made a decision. Run it as well as you can to my people, great people. Run it as well as you can. I could have gone the other route and made everybody.
I'm not saying who I'm voting for. A lot of people are asking. I'm not going to say my political stance. I'm just here judging the both of them. I'm not going to say who I'm voting for. I already made my vote, though. So I already know who I'm voting for. I'm not going to say.
I don't know that it's going to work. If we don't win,
sorry, guys.
We'll have to run it, and we'll have Obamacare, but it'll be better run. But it no longer is Obamacare, because without the individual mandate, it's much different. Pre-existing conditions will always stay. What I would like to do is a much better health care, much better, will always protect people with pre-existing. So I'd like to terminate Obamacare, come up with a brand new, beautiful health care. The Democrats will do it because there'll be tremendous pressure on them, and we might even have the House by that time, and I think we're going to win the House, okay? You'll see, but I think we're going to win the House. But come up with a better health care, always protecting people with pre-existing conditions. And one thing very important, we have 180 million people out there that have great private health care. Far more than we're talking about with Obamacare. Joe Biden is going to terminate all of those policies. These are people that love their health care, people that have been successful, middle-income people, been successful. They have 180 million plans, 180 million people, families. Under what he wants to do, which will basically be socialized medicine, he won't even have a choice. They want to terminate 180 million plans. We have done an incredible job on
Biden doesn't like this.
And we're going to do even better.
Wait until Biden goes off.
Okay, Vice President Biden, yes, this is for you. Your health care plan calls
Okay.
for building on Obamacare. So my question is, what is your plan if the law is ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
What I'm going to do is pass Obamacare with a public option. Become Biden care. The public option is an option that says that if you in fact do not have the wherewithal to be, if you qualify for Medicaid and you do not have the wherewithal in your state to get Medicaid, you automatically are enrolled, providing competition for insurance companies. That's what's going to happen. Secondly, we're going to make sure we reduce the premiums and reduce drug prices by making sure that there's competition that doesn't exist now by allowing.
I mean, they're both getting
Medicare
more of a fair
to
chance to talk now.
negotiate
Trump's not sitting
drug
here
prices
talking
with
over his word all the time.
Insurance companies.
But it's still a
Thirdly,
shit show.
The idea that I want
They're
to
still not
eliminate
respectful of
private
each
insurance,
other.
the
They're not
reason
going
why
to be.
I had such a fight with 20 candidates for the nomination was I support private insurance. That's why I didn't. Not one single person with private insurance would lose their insurance under my plan.
Biden
nor
care.
did
Yeah,
they
everyone
under
be spamming Biden
Obamacare.
care.
They did not
He did
lose
say
their
that.
insurance
He did say
unless
that.
They chose they wanted to
Biden
go to something
care.
else. Lastly, we're going to make sure we're in a situation
$2
that
super chat,
we
Nicholas.
actually
Howie Hawks
protect pre-existing.
Hawkins
There's no
comes
way you
in
can
for a
protect
quick cameo.
pre-existing conditions. None. Zero. You can't do it.
Waiting
in
for
the
this damn
ether.
fly to pop back
He's been
up.
talking about this for a long time. He's never come up with a plan. I guess we're going to get the pre-existing condition plan the same time we get the infrastructure plan that we've been waiting since 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Biden care, how
The fact-
original,
I still
right?
have a few more minutes. I know you're getting anxious. The fact is that he's already cost the American people, because of his terrible handling of the COVID virus and the economic spillover, 10 million people
Back
have
on the corona
lost their
thing.
private insurance. And he wants to take away 22 million more people who have it under Obamacare, and over 110 million people with
Biden
pre-existing
care is
conditions.
the word of the
And all
day.
people
You're
from
right,
COVID
Sam,
are
it
gonna have
is.
Pre-existing conditions. What are they going to do?
I have a follow-up for you, Vice President Biden. It relates to something that President Trump said. He's accusing you of wanting socialized medicine. What do you say to people who have concerns that your health care plan, which includes a government insurance option, takes the country one step closer to a health care system run entirely by the government? What's
I
your
say
response
it's
to them?
ridiculous. It's like saying that, we're the idea that the fact that there's a public option that people can choose, that makes it a socialist plan. Look, the difference between the president, I think health care is not a privilege, it's a right. Everyone should have the right to have affordable health care. And I am very proud of my plan. It's gotten endorsed by all the major labor unions, as well as a whole range of other people who in fact are concerned in the medical field. This is something that's going to save people's lives, and this is going to give some people an opportunity to have health care for their children. How many of you home are worried and rolling around in bed tonight wondering what in God's name you're going to do if you get sick because you've lost your home insurance, your health insurance, your company's gone under? We have to provide health insurance
Trump,
for people. And an
Biden likes to do this a lot. He likes to talk to the American
President
people.
Trump,
Talk
he
to you
was there
directly.
For 47 years, he didn't do it. He was now there as vice president.
CJV,
for
what's
8
your
years.
live
It's not
stream
like it was
view?
25 years ago. It was
View live
3
record
3/4.
currently. I'm at
It was
250
just
viewers,
a
it
little while
says.
ago, right?
I'm at
Less
an
than
hour and
4 years
57
ago.
minutes, it
He
says.
didn't do anything. He didn't
That's
do
what you're
it.
asking for,
He
Sam.
wants socialized medicine, and it's not that he wants it. His vice president, I mean, she is more liberal than Bernie Sanders and wants it even more. Bernie Sanders wants it. The Democrats want it. You're going to have socialized medicine, just like you went with fracking. We're not going to have fracking. We're going to stop fracking. We're going to stop fracking. Then he goes to Pennsylvania after he gets a nomination, where he got very lucky to get it. And he goes to Pennsylvania and he says, oh, we're going to have fracking. And you never asked that question. And by the way, so far, I respect very much the way you're handling this, I have to say.
By the way,
but somebody should ask the question.
You can ask
Oh,
for a year.
Trump simping for the moderator?
We have a number of topics we're going to get to.
That's a big question.
We're going to get to.
Trump simping for the moderator so far.
Your response,
I mean, what's the highest view count you've had? Oh, I have no idea. Probably 280 something. Nicholas, $2. I feel like the red and blue ties mean
will, in
something.
fact, to provide for that affordable health care, lower
Thank you for the $2 super chat, man.
It's going to cost some money. It's going to
He'd
cost
be
over
simping for that
$750
monitor.
billion
Thank you.
over
You've been
10
handling
years
it very
to do
nicely. And then he gave a
And
little
they're gonna have
smirk at
lower
her.
premiums,
Oh
they're gonna
my
buy into the better
gosh.
plans, the cheaper plans, lower your
The way he
premiums,
says fracking.
deal with
Fracking.
unexpected
Fracking,
billing,
fracking,
and
fracking,
have
fracking,
drug prices
fracking,
drop
fracking.
significantly. He keeps talking about it. He hasn't done a thing for anybody on health care. Not a thing.
Kristen, when
Very
he
quickly,
says,
then I want to talk
when
about
he
what's
says
happening on
public
Capitol
option,
Hill.
he's talking about socialized medicine, and when he and healthcare. When he talks
Biden.
about
Oh
a public
no.
option,
Oh no.
he's talking about
Trump's
destroying
at it again. Oh no. Oh no.
destroying your Social Security, and this whole country will come down. You know, Bernie Sanders tried it in his state. He tried it in his state. His
Biden,
governor was a
say
very
it.
liberal governor. They want to make it
Say
work.
it.
Okay, let's let Vice President Biden
to work.
respond.
It doesn't
Vice
work.
President
He's
Biden,
a very
your
confused
response.
guy. He thinks he's running against somebody else. He's running against Joe Biden. I beat all those other people because I disagreed with them.
He's running against Joe Biden.
And the idea that we're in a situation that they're going to destroy Medicare, this is the guy that the actuary at Medicare said, if in fact, at Social Security, if in fact
Sorry,
he
guys.
continues to withhold his plan, withhold the tax on Social Security, Social Security will be bankrupt by 2023. With no way to make up for it. This is the guy who's tried to cut Medicare. So I mean, the idea that Donald Trump is lecturing me on Social Security and Medicare? Come on.
He tried to get rid of, he tried to hurt Social Security years ago. Years ago. Go back and look at the records.
Biden, that smile is so nervous. When you smile, it's so nervous when you say that.
Mr. President, I have to
When you
move on
do
to the
that.
next question,
They said
or
the
else
stock
we're not
market
going to
will
have time to
boom
talk about it.
if I'm elected. If he's elected, the stock
I'm so
market
nervous
will
when he
crash.
smiles. It does not look convincing when he
Next
smiles.
question. Very quickly.
Look, the idea that the stock market is booming is his only measure.
Joe
of what's
Biden has
happening.
entered the
Where I
battle.
come from in Scranton,
I'm
Claymont,
Joe
the people don't
Biden.
live off
This
of the
is
stock
Joe
market.
Biden.
Just in the last three years
Man.
during this crisis, the billionaires in this country made, according to the Wall Street, $700 billion more. $700 billion more.
Look at that angry eye he has.
That's his own
$700 billion more
to the
dollars.
ordinary people out there.
Trump wants to say
What happens
something.
to them?
Let's talk about what's happening on Capitol Hill. We're going to move on, gentlemen.
401ks are through the roof.
We're going to move on.
Stock are through the roof. And he doesn't come from Scranton.
Moderator's allowing it.
He lived there for a short period of time before he even knew
we're
it.
going to move on to
And he
the next
left. And the
question.
people of Pennsylvania.
Maybe she liked it that Trump simped for her. Maybe that's why she's allowing a couple words in. It's like, oh, you like me. I'm going to let you go.
Americans have fallen into poverty.
Maybe that's why.
And more
Oh,
families
maybe
are
that's
going
why.
hungry every day. Those hit hardest
Maybe
are
that's why.
women and people of color. They see
Joe
Washington
Obama.
fighting over a relief
Joe Obama.
bill. Mr. President, why haven't you been able to get them the help they need? 30 seconds here.
Because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve it. I do.
But you're the president.
I do, but I still have to get. Unfortunately, that's one of the
But
reasons
you're the
I think we're gonna
president.
take over the House because of her. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve anything because she'd love to have some victories on a date called November 3rd. Nancy Pelosi does not want to approve it. We are ready, willing, and able to do something. Don't forget, we've already approved 3 plans, and it's gone through, including the Democrats, in all fairness. This one she doesn't want. It's near the election because she thinks it helps her politically. I think it hurts her politically.
All right, Mr. Vice President,
You know, the Republican leader in the United States
Coda
Senate
says Trump
said he
raises
can't
his hand
pass
like
it.
he's in
He will
a
not be
in
able to
school
pass it.
debate.
He does
He
not
just
have
does like he's in
Republican
school. He
votes.
goes,
Why isn't he talking to his Republican friends?
My
let me
turn.
follow up
Oh,
with you,
there he
Vice
goes.
President
We made a deal,
Biden, because
the
let me
Republicans
ask
passed.
Vice President Biden a question. You are the leader of the Democratic Party. Why have you not pushed the Democrats to get a deal for the American people?
Well, I have, and they have pushed it. Look, they passed this act all the way back in the beginning of the summer. This is like it's not new. It's been out there.
Biden's
The
getting
Stimulus
angry.
Act has been sitting there. And look at what's happening. When I was in charge
He's
of the
getting angry.
Recovery
He's
Act
getting mad,
with
guys.
$800 billion, I was able to get $145 billion to local communities that have to balance their budgets and states that have to balance their budgets, so then have to fire firefighters, teachers, first responders, law enforcement officers, so they can keep their cities and counties running. He will not support that. They have not done a thing for them. And Mitch McConnell said,
You
let
can
them
hear
go
him
bankrupt.
echo. He's
Let them
getting
go bankrupt.
angry.
Come on. What's the matter with
Bill
you?
getting
that was passed in
mad.
the House was a bailout of badly run, high crime, Democrat, all run by Democrats, cities and states. It was a way of getting a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars to these states. It was also a way
Trump
of getting
should
a lot
dab.
of
Yeah,
money
Trump should
from
dab.
our people's pockets to people that come into our country illegally.
Biden, you won't like
we
me
were
when
going
I'm
to take
angry.
care of everything for them. And what that does, and I'd love to do that, I'd love to help them, but what that
Trump
does,
be like,
everybody all over the
yeah,
world will
you
start
really do
pouring
be
into
like
our
that.
country. We can't do it. This was a way of taking care of them. This was a way of spending
TJB,
on
are you
things that
going to
had
share who
nothing
you
to do
voted for
with
after the
COVID,
election?
as
Maybe
Peter
after the
Forrest
election I
But
will.
it was really a big bailout
Maybe, I don't know.
for badly run Democrat cities and states.
All right, I want
If
to.
I get elected, I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'm going to be an American president. I don't see red states and blue states. What I see is American, United States. And folks,
Said that
every
already.
single state out there
Wants
finds
to make it known,
itself
though.
in
He has to
trouble.
hammer
They're
it
going to
down.
start laying off, whether they're red or blue, cops, firefighters, first responders, because teachers, because they have to balance their budget. And the founders were smart. They allowed
Trump
the
did have
federal
COVID,
government
Austin.
deficit spend to compensate for the United States of America.
I want to talk about the
Now
minimum
he's
wage,
healed,
gentlemen.
apparently.
Mr. Vice President, we are talking a lot about struggling small businesses and business owners these days.
He looks
Do
to be
you
pretty
think
healed
this is
up.
the
He'd be
right
coughing
time to
pretty
ask
bad.
them to raise
He
the
was on a
minimum
phone
wage,
call
of
and he
course,
coughed pretty
support
bad
a
on a phone call that was really silly
I
news.
do, because I think one of
When he
the
did a
things we're
phone
going to have to
interview.
do is we're going to have to bail them out too. We should be bailing them out now, those small businesses. You
Biden
got
with
1 in
that
6 of them
tone, he's
going
getting
under.
he's
They're
getting
not
riled
gonna
up,
be able
guys.
to
I
make
told
it
you,
back.
he's getting riled
They
up.
passed a package that allows us to be able to call PPP. Money is supposed to go to help
He
them
said
do everything
PP.
from organize
Guys, clip it.
how
He
they
said
can
PP.
Deal with their businesses being open
He said
safely.
PP.
Schools, how they can make classrooms
He said PP.
smaller, how they can hire more teachers, how they can put ventilation systems in. They need the help. The businesses as well as the schools need the help. But these guys will not help them. Is not giving them any of the money.
We are going to move on to immigration,
One thing very
but I
quickly,
want
he
to
said
get
we
your
have to help
reaction.
our small businesses by raising the minimum wage. That's not helping. I think it should be a state option. Alabama is different than New York. New York is different from Vermont. Every state is different. It should be a state option.
You said very
we have
recently.
to help. It's very important. We have to help our small businesses. How are you helping your small businesses when you're forcing wages? What's going to happen, and what's been proven to happen, is when you do that, these small businesses fire many of their employees.
You said very recently you would
by the way.
consider raising the federal
Not
minimum
true,
wage
by
to
the way.
$15 an hour. You said recently you would consider raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Is that still the case?
And I would consider it to an extent, but
In a
what I
second
really like,
administration?
in a second administration, but not to a level that's going to put all these businesses out of business. It should be a state option. Look, I've lived in different places. I know different places. They're all different.
I agree. It should be a
Some
state
places,
option.
$15
The
is not so
the
bad.
federal,
In
you
other
can't move
places,
it like
other states,
a nation. Everywhere is $15 because places, things cost differently. Places you go.
Jobs, one job, be below poverty. People are making $6, $7, $8 an hour. These first responders, we all clap for as they come down the street because they've allowed us to make it. What's happening? They deserve a minimum wage of $15. Anything below that puts you below the poverty level.
Biden, are you talking about their job specifically, or
businesses go out of business?
if you're just talking?
That is simply not true.
We're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about immigration
No,
now,
but
gentlemen, and we're going to talk
I wish
about
I could
families
pause this
within
so
this
badly because
context.
I don't
Mr.
want to
President, your
interrupt.
administration
I'm saying this now. If you do raise the minimum wage, all the other businesses have to adjust their prices because everyone's starting to have more money. They're just going to go to another business. They're going to go for the cheapest price. It is going to put places out of business. The minimum wage has to be different every state that you go to. It has to be. I don't. People are gonna think I'm voting for Trump now just because I sided with him on that one thing. I am not. All I am saying is literally, you cannot have a national minimum wage. You cannot have that in the United States. You cannot.
You see the numbers, and we let people in, but they have to come in.
Here in Iowa, the minimum wage is $7.25. You can get by with that. Here in Iowa, it is possible to get by with that. It is possible. But it wouldn't be possible in California.
These horrible cages, and they said, "Look at these cages."
Man, come on.
President Trump built them, and then it was determined.
This
they
is
were
me getting
built
in my political thing.
In 2014, that was him.
Do you
They
have a
built
plan to
cages.
reunite the kids?
Yes,
with
we're
their
working on
families?
it. We're trying very hard. But a lot of these kids come out without the parents. They come over
Yep,
through
see?
cartels
See?
and
I
through
have people
coyotes
thinking I'm
and
voting
through
for Trump.
gangs.
Vice President,
Whatever.
let me bring you into this conversation. Quick response, and then another question to you.
These 500 plus kids.
As of
came
right now, I'm
with
neutral. I'm not
parents.
revealing
They
who I'm voting
separated
for.
them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. Real tough. We're really strong. And guess what?
Each state should decide their own minimum wage because they can manage their own state better than the United States can.
And it makes us a
We should
laughing
stay the
stock
United
and
States.
violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
Yeah, see, the minimum wage in Cali is like $12. It's $5 more
We
than it is
changed
here
the
in Iowa.
policy.
Your response
They
to
did
that?
it.
We
changed.
did not
They built the
separate
cages. Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
Who
we're
built the
talking about.
cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about
Who
what
built
we're
the
talking
cages,
about.
Joe?
What happened? Parents were ripped, their kids were ripped from their arms and separated. And now they cannot find over 500 of sets of those parents, and those kids are alone. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
He's mad.
It's criminal.
He's mad.
It's criminal.
Let me ask
Kristen,
you
I will
about
say this.
immigration.
They went
10
down.
seconds,
We
and then
brought
I need to
reporters, everything. They are so well taken care of. They're in facilities that were so clean.
But some
and
of them
gotten
haven't been
such good-
reunited
But
with their
just ask
families.
one question. Who built the cages? I'd love you to ask him that. Who built the cages?
Let me ask
Built the
about
cages,
your
Joe.
immigration policy, Mr. Vice President. The Obama administration
They should
did
ask
fail
each
to
other
deliver
questions.
Immigration reform,
I think
which
that would
had
be
been
fun.
a key promise during the administration. It also presided over record deportations as well as family detentions at the border before changing course. So why should voters trust you with an immigration overhaul now?
Because we made a mistake. It took too long to get it right. It took too long to get it right. I'll be president of the United States, not vice president of the United States. And the fact is, I've made it very clear. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people. And all of those so-called dreamers, those DACA kids, they're going to
Is
be
he playing with a
immediately
pen right now?
certified again to be able to stay in this country and put on a path to citizenship. The idea that they are being sent home by this guy and they want to do that is they go into a country they've never seen before. I can imagine you're 5 years old, your parents are taking you across the Rio Grande River and it's illegal.
Oh, he's
And you say,
stuttering
"Oh, no,
now.
Mom, leave me here. I'm not going to go with you." They've been here. Many of them are model citizens. Over 20,000 of them are first responders out there taking care of people during this crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
Kristen, he had 8 years to do what he said he was going to do. And I've changed without having a specific. We got rid of catch and release. We got rid of a lot of horrible things that they put in and that they lived with. But he had 8 years he was vice
Write that down,
president.
Joe. You're going to have to attack him later
He
for it.
did nothing except build cages to keep children in.
Vice President Biden, your response.
The catch and release, you know what he's talking about there? If in fact you had a family came across and they were arrested, they in fact were given a date to show up for their hearing. They were released. And guess what? They showed up for a hearing. And this is the first president in the history of the United States of America that anybody seeking asylum has to do it in another country. That's never happened before in America. That's never happened before in America. You come to the United States and you make your case that I seek asylum based on the following premise: why I deserve it under American law. They're sitting in squalor on the other side of the river.
President Trump, your response,
So
30
important.
seconds, and then we'll move
It just shows that he has no understanding of immigration or the laws. Catch and release is a disaster. A murderer would come
Disaster.
in. A rapist would come in. A very bad person would come in. We would take their name. We have to release them into our country. And then you say they come back. Less than 1% of the people come back. We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years. We're going to give you a court case. You need Perry Mason. We're going to give you a court case. When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe. They never come back. Only the really...
Biden's tired. Biden's
I
tired of
hate
him.
to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, they might come back.
Okay, President Trump, let's give Vice President Biden a chance
Wow,
to respond, and
did
then
you
we're
say
gonna move on to the
stupid people would come back?
Vice President Biden, your response.
Wow.
He's telling you it's simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
Check it out.
All right, let's move on.
But we don't have to
the
worry
next
about it because they
section.
terminated it, so we don't have to worry about
Let's
it.
move on to the next
And you have
section.
525 kids not knowing where in God's name they're going to be and lost their parents.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's talk about our next
Oh.
section, which is race in America. And I want to talk about the way black and brown Americans experience race in this country. Part of that experience is something called
Race.
the talk. It happens regardless of class and income. Parents who feel they have no choice but to prepare their children for the chance that they could be targeted, including by the police, for no reason other than the color of their skin. Mr. Vice President, in the next 2 minutes, I want you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
I do. I do. You know, my daughter is a social worker, and she's written a lot about this. She has a graduate degree from the University of Pennsylvania in social work. And you know, one of the reasons why I ended up working on the east side of Wilmington, Delaware, which is 90% African American, was to learn more about what was going on. What I did, I never had to tell my daughter.
It's gonna get real touchy here
she's
soon.
Pulled over,
yeah, real touchy.
Make sure she puts for a
Talking about
traffic
race.
stop. Put both hands on top of the wheel and don't reach for the glove box because someone may shoot you. But a black parent, no matter how wealthy or how poor they are, has to teach their child when you're walking down the street, don't have a hoodie on when you go across the street. Making sure that you, in fact, if you get pulled over, just yes, sir, no, sir, hands on top of the wheel, because you are, in fact, the victim, whether you're a person making child of a $300,000 a year person or someone who's on food stamps. The fact of the matter is there is institutional racism in America. And we have always said, we've never lived up to it, that we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal. Well, guess what? We have never, ever lived up to it, but we've always constantly been moving the needle further and further to inclusion, not exclusion. This is the first president to come along and says, that's the end of that. We're not going to do that anymore. We have to provide for economic opportunity, better education, better health care, better access to schooling, better access to opportunity to borrow money to start businesses. All the things we can do, and I've laid out a clear plan as to how to do those things, just to give people a shot. It's about accumulating the ability to have wealth as well as it is to be free from violence.
President Trump, same question to you, and let me remind you of the question. I would like you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
Yes, I do. And again, he's been in government 47 years. He never did a thing except in 1994 when he did such harm to the black community. And they were called, and he called them super predators. And he said that. He said it, super predators. And they have never lived that down. 1994, your crime bill, the super predators. Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done. Criminal justice reform. Obama and Joe didn't do it. I don't even think they tried because they had no chance at doing it. They might have wanted to do it, but if you had to see the arms I had to twist to get that done, it was not a pretty picture, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, this can get real touchy. One insult towards this could really set one of these guys off.
2 weeks later, they're out saying, gee, we have to defeat him. Criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones with Tim Scott, a great senator from South Carolina.
We're kind of talking about two different things right
with
here.
This incredible idea for opportunity zones. It's one of the most successful programs. People don't talk about it. Tremendous investment is being made.
They're both trying to make the argument on how they would
black
pretty
and
much
Hispanic
affect
communities,
race better.
And then historically
And Trump's using
black
some big words
colleges
right now and
universities.
trying
After 3
to
years
get
of
this
coming to
going.
the office,
So
I love some of those guys. They were great.
Biden,
they
though,
came into the office.
he's talking about how
and they
scared
said, I said, what
it
are you
is
doing?
to
After
be,
3 years, I said, why do you
you
keep
know,
coming
a
back?
black person.
Because we have no funding. I said, you don't have to come back every year. We
I
have
don't
to
know.
come
We'll
back
see how it goes.
because President Obama would
Oh,
never
that
give
tongue. He just
long-term
licked the
funding,
bot. He went.
and I did. 10-year
You see that?
long-term funding.
See
and I
Biden
gave
just
them
do
more
that?
money
That's
than
weird.
they
Man,
asked for
Biden,
because
come
I said,
on.
I think you need more.
You need better
And I said,
faces
the
than
only
that.
bad part about this is I may never see you again because I got very friendly
I don't
with
know how
them,
Biden did
and
that
they
without
like me
wiping
and
the
I
bottom
like
of his
them.
lip.
But
That's
I
just
saved it.
gross.
Colleges and universities.
Okay, and we're going to talk about both of your records, but your response
trying to
that,
talk.
Vice
My
Chair.
response to that is I never, ever said what he accused me of saying. The fact of the matter is, in 2000, though, after the crime bill had been in the law for a while, this is the guy who said, the problem with the crime bill, there's not enough people in jail. There's not enough people in jail. And go on my website, get the quote, the date when he said it. Not enough people. He talked about
Good, someone clipped it.
marauding
Good.
gangs, young gangs, and the people who were
Lizard
going
Man,
to
yeah,
maraud our
Lizard Man
cities.
confirmed.
This is the guy who in the Central
Biden-
Park five,
Biden licked-
five
licked
innocent
his
black
bottom
kids,
lip
he
times
continued to
2.
push for making sure that they got the death penalty. None of them were guilty of what the crimes they were suggested. Look, and talk about granted, he did in fact let 20 people, he commuted 20 people's sentences. We commuted over 1,000 people's sentences. Over 1,000. The very law he's talking about is a law that, in fact, initiated by Barack Obama. And secondly, we're in a situation here where the federal prison system was reduced by 38,000 people under our administration. And one of these things we should be doing, there should be no minimum mandatories in the law. That's why I'm offering $20 billion to states to change their state laws to eliminate minimum mandatories and set up drug courts. No one should be going to jail because they have a drug problem. They should be going to rehabilitation, not to jail. We should fundamentally change the system, and that's what I'm going to do.
Not exactly.
Why didn't you do it 4 years ago? Why didn't you do that 4
Not exactly.
years ago, even less than that? Why didn't you do it? You were vice president. You keep talking about all these things you're going to do, and you're going to do this. But you were there just a short time ago, and you guys did nothing.
We did.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run. I would have never run. I ran because of you. I'm looking at you now. You're a politician.
Personal statements.
All right, Vice President Biden, your response to that, and then I do have some questions for both of you.
Well, I tell you what, I hope he does look at me, because what's happening here is, you know who I am, you know who he is, you know his character, you know my character, you know our reputations for honor and telling the truth. I am anxious to have this race. I am anxious to see this take place. The character of the country is on the ballot. Our character is on the ballot. Look at us closely.
Let me ask some follow-up. Please respond, and then we're going to have follow-up.
Excuse me. Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq. If this is true, then he's a corrupt politician. So don't give me the stuff about how you're this innocent baby. Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
Nobody.
President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue
from hell.
President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race. President Trump,
I have to respond to that.
Please,
because look, there are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of
Trump is calling out Obama and Biden right now. They
have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia.
Gentlemen, I want to stay on the issue of race.
You have to be kidding. Here we go again with Russia.
We're going to continue on the issue of race.
Boy, oh boy, here we go again with Russia.
Black Lives Matter movement.
Come on, I was expecting more arguing than that.
You shared a video of a man chanting white power to millions of your supporters. You've said that black professional athletes
my chair is not liking this debate. My chair's starting to die.
What do you say to Americans who say that kind of language from a president is contributing to a climate of hate and racial strife?
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. I said, that's a horrible thing. And they were marching down the street. And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a terrible thing. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Well, what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform.
You don't know everyone in that room, Trump.
And opportunity zones.
I don't know,
I took
man.
care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say. They can say anything. I mean, they can say anything. It makes me sad because I am.
Makes you
I
sad.
am the least racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so dark. But I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Let me ask you very quickly, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
I know a black person in that audience sat here and was like, what did you just say? I can't see him. It's so dark.
Racist fire.
I know he's not. He wasn't trying to do that, but it got kind of sus when he said that. I sat there and I was like,
he's banned Muslims because they're Muslims. He has moved around and made everything worse across the board. He says about the poor boys. Last time we were on stage here, he said, I told him to stand down.
He did just roast the moderator, too, at the same time.
This guy has a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn.
President Trump, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to respond. And then I have a
Foghorn.
follow-up.
He made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
You said
where
you're
did that-
Abraham Lincoln.
No, where did that? No. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community.
And I'm saying-
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black
Biden,
community.
were you listening?
You have done nothing other than the crime bill, which put
Oh, God.
tens of thousands of black men, mostly, in jail.
All right, let me-
And you know
let me
what?
a- let me
they
ask
remember
Vice
it, because
President
if
Biden
you
a
look at what's
question.
happening with the voting right now,
Let me ask
they
Vice
remember
President
that
Biden
you treated them
about-
very, very badly. Just take a look at what's happening out there.
Vice President Biden, let me give you a chance to respond within this
You
context.
just called
I know
yourself
that you supported
Abraham
in the 80s
Lincoln.
and
No,
90s,
I said
contributing
I
to the
was the
incarceration of
most.
tens of thousands of
I stood
young
up for the black
men
people the
who had
most since
small amounts
Abraham
of drugs in
Lincoln. I
their
was the only
possession.
president.
They are sons,
Oh
they are
my
brothers,
God,
their
did
fathers,
Biden
their
really
uncles,
screw up that
whose
bad?
families
I
are
don't
still
ever
to this
remember
day,
Trump
some
saying
of
that
them
he's
suffering the
Abraham Lincoln.
consequences.
I don't ever
So
remember
speak
him
to
saying
those
that.
families. Why
Biden
should
just
they
got
vote for you?
confused.
One of the
It shows
things
that
is
these
that
people
in
at
the
this very
80s,
old
we
age,
passed
I don't know if they
100%,
should become
all
president.
100
Like, they should
senators
really.
voted for it, a bill
I know there's an
on
age gap. You have to be
drugs
35
and
years
how
of
to
age or
deal
older,
with
but
drugs. It
they
was
should put a
mistake.
max age on there.
I've been trying to change
Because
the system,
Biden is a
particularly
little
the
old for
portion on
this.
cocaine.
He's been
That's
making
why
screw ups
I've
like
been
that for a
arguing that,
long
in fact,
time.
we should not
And I don't know if I agree
send
with
anyone to
Trump's
jail
statements
for
about
a
he's been the
pure
best
drug offense.
black
They should be
stand-up
going into
president
treatment
since
across the
Abraham
board.
Lincoln. I don't agree with
That's
that statement
what we
either.
should be spending
But,
money. That's why I
oh
set up
my
drug
God,
courts, which
this
were
is
never
a
funded
mess.
by our Republican friends. They should not be going to jail for a drug or an alcohol problem. They should be going into treatment. That's what we've been trying to do. That's what I'm going to get done, because I think maybe the American people have now seen that, in fact, it was a mistake to pass those laws relating to drugs. But they were not in the crime bill.
But why didn't he get it done? See, it's all talk, no action with these
All
politicians.
talk, no action.
Why
Come on,
didn't
call
he
him
get
out.
it done? That's what I'm going to do when I become president. You were vice president along with Obama as your president, your leader, for 8 years. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years to get it done. Now you're saying you're going to get it done because you're all talk and no action, Jim.
We got a lot of it done. We released 38,000. We got
done.
38,000 prisoners left from the.
You got nothing done.
38,000 prisoners were released from federal prison. There were over 1,000 people who were given clemency. In fact, we're the ones.
People
who
are
put in
saying
the
65,
legislation saying
60,
we could
65 is a
look
good
at pattern
max.
and practice of police departments and what they were
I'd be
doing,
fine with
how they
that.
were conducting themselves. I could go on.
Someone around
but we
Obama's
began
age
the
wouldn't be bad.
process. We began the process. We lost an election. That's why I'm running to win back.
How long
that
is this?
election
It should
and
be
change his
ending in the
terrible
next 10
policy.
minutes.
And then we're going to move on to climate change.
Why
It's probably gonna be longer.
didn't you do it in the 8 years, a short time ago? Why didn't you do it? You just said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. You put tens of thousands of mostly black young men in prison. Now you're saying you're going to undo that. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years with Obama. You know why, Joe? Because you're all talk and no action.
All right, Vice President Biden, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
We had a Republican Congress. That's the answer.
Well, you
Okay.
got to talk them into it, Joe. Sometimes
All right.
you got to talk them into it.
We're going to move on to our next section.
Like I did
which
with
is
criminal
climate
justice
change.
reform. I had
Okay.
to talk Democrats into it.
Gentlemen, we're running out of time, so we got to get on to climate change, please. You both have very different visions on climate change.
If you are
President Trump,
confused
you
by
say
what's
that environmental
happening, that's
regulations have
okay.
hurt jobs in the
They are
energy
not
sector.
handling this
Vice
well.
President Biden, you have said you see
Joe
addressing
Biden's weakness
climate
is
change
talking for
as
a
an
long period of
opportunity to
time,
create
and Trump's
new
weakness
jobs.
right
For
here
each of
is
you,
just
how would
the
you
sheer
both
fact that he
combat
looks like a
climate change
child
and
calling out
support
Biden
job
the way
growth
he
at the
is.
same time, starting
He
with
looks
you,
like a
President
complete
Trump?
child.
You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
So we have the Trillion Trees program. We have so many different programs. I do love the environment, but what I want is
I love the
cleanest,
environment. We have
crystal
trillion
clear
of
water,
trees,
the
guys.
cleanest air.
That's what we
have
got
the
here.
best, lowest number in carbon emissions, which is a big standard that I notice Obama goes with all the time.
Climate change.
Not Joe. I haven't heard Joe use the term because I'm not sure he knows what it represents or means, but I have heard Obama
Being
use
a
it.
president is
And
hard.
we have
It's hard.
the best carbon
Being a vice
emission
president for
numbers
Biden
that
is
we've
super
had in
difficult. It looks
35
like
years
him
under
being
this
him running looks
administration.
difficult.
We are working so well with industry, but here's what we can't do. Look at China, how filthy it is. Look at Russia. Look at India. It's filthy. The air is filthy. The Paris Accord, I took us out because we were going to have to spend trillions of dollars, and we were treated very unfairly. When they put us in there, they did us a great disservice. They were going to take away our businesses. I will not sacrifice tens of millions of jobs, thousands and thousands of companies because of the Paris Accord. It was so unfair. China doesn't kick in until 2030. Russia goes back to a low standard, and we kicked in right away. It would have destroyed our businesses. So, you ready? We have done.
Biden's been writing a lot on that piece of paper. Come on, what are you writing down, man? Gotta spit it out, Biden.
And the best carbon emission standards that we've seen in many, many years.
Yeah, Coda, he did say
destroyed
that.
our industries.
Vice President Biden, 2 minutes to you.
But he likes to take
uninterrupted.
responsibility when the carbon
Climate
levels are
change,
down.
Climate warming, global warming is an existential threat to humanity. We have a moral obligation to deal with it. And we're told by all the leading scientists in the world we don't have much
Biden,
time.
please make a paper plane.
We're going to pass
Yes.
the point of no return within the next 8 to 10 years. 4 more years of this man eliminating all the regulations that were put in by us to clean up the climate, to limit limit of emissions will put us in a position where we're going to be in real trouble. Here's where we have a great opportunity. I was able to get both all the environmental organizations as well as labor, the people worried about jobs, to support my climate plan. Because what it does, it will create millions of new good-paying jobs. We're going to invest in, for example, 50,000 charging stations on our highways so that we can own the electric car market of the future. In the meantime, China is doing that. We're going to be in a position where we're going to see to it that we're going to take 4 million existing buildings and 2 million existing homes and retrofit them so they don't leak as much energy, saving hundreds of millions of barrels of oil in the process and creating significant number of jobs. And by the way, the whole idea of what this is all going to do, it's going to create millions of jobs, and it's going to clean the environment. Our health and our jobs are at stake. That's what's happening. And what right now, by the way, Wall Street firms indicated that my plan will in fact create 18.6 million jobs, 7 million more than his. This is from Wall Street. And I'll create $1 trillion more in economic growth than his proposal does. Not on climate, just on the economy.
President Trump,
Today came out and said very strongly, $6,500 will be taken away from families under his plan, that his plan is an economic disaster. If you look at what he wants to do, you know, if you look at his plan, his environmental plan, you know who developed it? AOC +3. They know nothing about the climate. I mean, she's got a good line of stuff, but she knows nothing about the climate. And they're all hopping through hoops for AOC +3. Look, the real plan costs $100 trillion.
Come on.
If we had the best year in the history
Biden's
of
getting
our
tired of
country
this.
for 100
Biden's
years,
getting
we
real
would
tired of this, I can tell.
Not even come
Look at
close
him.
to a number like that.
It looks like he's
When
sleeping
says
when he puts his
buildings,
head down.
They want to take buildings down because they want to make bigger windows into smaller windows. As far as they're concerned, if you had no window, it would be a lovely thing. This is the craziest plan that anybody has ever seen. And this wasn't done by smart people. This wasn't done by anybody. Frankly, I don't even know how it can be good politically. They want to spend $100 trillion. That's their real number. He's trying to say it was 6. It's $100 trillion. They want to knock down buildings and build new buildings with little, tiny, small windows. I mean, and many other things.
Okay.
And many other things.
Let me have the Vice President respond, and we're running out of
Little
time. and we have a lot
tiny
more
small
questions.
windows,
So let's
guys.
hear from the Vice
That's the new
President.
Democratic plan. Little tiny small
I don't know where he
windows.
comes up with these numbers. $100 trillion. Give me a break.
Give
This
you a
plan
break.
This plan is endorsed by every major environmental group and every labor group. Labor. Because they know the future lies. The future lies in us being able to breathe, and they know there are good jobs in getting us there. And by the way, the fastest growing industry in America is the solar energy and wind. He thinks wind causes cancer, windmills. It's the fastest growing jobs, and they pay good prevailing wages, 45, 50 bucks an hour. We can grow and we can be cleaner if we go the route I'm proposing.
President Trump, please respond, and then I have some follow-ups.
We are energy independent for the first time. We don't need all of these countries that we had to fight war over because we needed their energy. We are energy independent. I know more about wind than you do. It's extremely expensive, kills all the birds, it's very intermittent, it's got a lot of problems, and they happen to make the windmills in both Germany and China. And the fumes coming up, if you're a believer in carbon emission, the fumes coming up to make these massive windmills is more than anything that we're talking about with natural gas, which is very clean. One other thing.
Find me a scientist that said that.
I love solar, but solar doesn't quite have it yet. It's not powerful yet to really run our big, beautiful factories that we need to compete with the world. So it's all a pipe dream. But you know what we'll do? We're going to have the greatest economy in the world. But if you want to kill the economy, get rid of your oil industry. You want and what about fracking?
All right, let me allow Vice President
Fracking. We're back to fracking. Oh no.
I oppose fracking.
Not the birds.
I did show the tape. Put it on your website. I'll
put it on.
Put it on the website.
Oh.
The fact of the matter is, he's flat lying.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
I do rule out banning fracking because the answer we need.
Fracking.
We need other
back to fracking
industries to transition to get to.
I know more about the wind than him.
By 2025.
He's going to kill the birds.
Is make sure that we can
grab the video, put it on your website, Trump. Biden's calling him out.
From gas. We can do that, and we can do that by investing money and doing it. But it's a transition to that.
I have one more question in this pod, and then we have.
He was against fracking. He said it. I will show that to you tomorrow. I am against fracking. Until he got the nomination, went to Pennsylvania, then he said, but you know what, Pennsylvania? He'll be against it very soon because his party is totally against
fracking on federal land. I said no fracking or oil on federal land.
Let me ask this final question in this section, and then I want to move on to our final section.
Biden looks so sad.
Are much more likely to live near oil refineries and chemical plants. In Texas, there are families who worry the plants near them are making them sick. Your administration has rolled back regulations on these kinds of facilities. Why should these families give you another 4 years in office?
The families that we're talking about are employed heavily, and they are making a lot of money, more money than they've ever made. If you look at the kind of numbers that we produce for Hispanic, for Black, for Asian, it's 9 times greater, the percentage gain, than it was under, in 3 years, than it was under 8 years of the 2 of them, to put it nicely. 9 times more.
Nicely.
Now, somebody lives, I have not heard the numbers or the statistics that you're saying, but they're making a tremendous amount of money economically. We saved it, and I saved it again a number of months ago when oil was crashing because of the pandemic. We saved it. We got, say what you want about relationship, we got Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Russia to cut back, way back. We saved our oil industry, and now it's very vibrant again. And everybody has very inexpensive gasoline. Remember
Vice President Biden, your response, and then we're going to have a final question for both of you.
My response is that those people live on what they call fence lines. He doesn't understand this. They live near chemical plants that, in fact, pollute. Chemical plants and oil plants and refineries that pollute. I used to live near that when I was growing up in Claymont, Delaware. And the more oil refineries in Marcus Hook and the Delaware River than there is any place, including in Houston at the time. When my mom get in the car and when there was first frost to drive me to school, turn in the windshield wiper, there'd be oil slick in the window. That's why so many people in my state were dying and getting cancer. The fact is, those frontline communities, it doesn't matter what you're paying them, it matters how you keep them safe. What do? And you impose restrictions on the pollutions the pollutants coming out of those fence line communities.
Okay, I have one final question.
Would he close down the oil industry?
It falls.
Would you close down the oil industry?
By the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
A big statement.
It is a big statement.
That's a
because I would stop.
Why would you do that?
They keep trying to mute the mics, but it ain't working.
The oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
And here's the deal. But
that's
you can't
a big
do
statement.
That. Well, if you let me finish the statement, because it has to be replaced by renewable energy over time. Over time, and I'd stop.
Yeah, almost 300 viewers, 296 viewers.
I'd stop
it says
giving
for
them
me.
federal subsidies. He
Doing
won't give
good.
federal subsidies to the gas. Excuse me, to solar and wind.
Yeah.
Why are we giving it to oil industry?
We actually do give
right.
it to solar and wind.
We
And
have
that's
one
maybe the
final
biggest
question.
statement in terms of business. That's the biggest statement.
Okay.
Because
We have
basically
one
what he's
final
saying
question,
is he is
Mr.
going to
President.
destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you
Okay.
remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me give you 10 seconds to respond, and then
Ohio.
I have to get to the final question. Vice President Biden.
He takes everything out
The
of context,
moderator's
but the point
not
is,
been,
look,
he hasn't been
we
doing too
have
bad
to
of a
move
job so
toward
far.
a net zero emissions.
Moderator's not
The
been doing
first
too
place
bad.
to do that by the year 2035 is in energy production. By 2050, totally.
All right. One
Is he gonna
final
get
question
China
to
to
both
do
of
it?
you. No, we're finished with
Is
this.
he
We're
gonna
get
move on
China to
our
do it?
Final question. We
No,
have to
I'm
move
going
on
to
to our final
rejoin Paris
question.
Accord and make China abide by what they agreed to.
All right,
That'll
this
cost you
is
$1
about
trillion.
leadership, gentlemen. And this first question does go to you, President Trump. Imagine this is your inauguration day. What will you say in your address to Americans who did not vote for you? You'll each have 1 minute, starting with you, Mr.
We have to make our country totally successful as it was prior to the plague coming in from China. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're doing record numbers, 11.4 million jobs in a short period of time, etc. But I will tell you, go back. Before the plague came in, just before, I was getting calls from people that were not normally people that would call me. They wanted to get together. We had the best black unemployment numbers in the history of our country. Hispanic, women, Asian, people with diplomas, with no diplomas, MIT graduates, #1 in the class. Everybody had the best numbers. And you know what? The other side wanted to get together. They wanted to unify. Success is going to bring us together. We are on the road to success. But I'm cutting taxes, and he wants to raise everybody's taxes, and he wants to put new regulations on everything. He will kill it. If he gets in, you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen. Your 401ks will go to hell, and it'll be a very, very sad day for
Go
this
to
country.
hell.
All right. Vice President Biden, same question to you. What will you say
A lot of
during
bold
your
statements.
inaugural
What do you
address
got,
to
Biden?
Americans who did not vote for you?
I will say, I'm an American president. I represent all of you, whether you voted for me or against me. And I'm going to make
Biden's
sure
taking this
that
question a
you're
little more
represented.
serious.
I'm going to give you hope. We're going to move. We're going to choose science over fiction. We're going to choose hope over fear. We're going to choose to move forward because we have enormous opportunities to make things better. We can grow this economy. We can deal with the systemic racism. And at the same time, we can make sure that our economy is being run and moved and motivated by clean energy, creating millions of new jobs. And that's the fact. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to say, as I said at the beginning, what is on the ballot here is the character of this country. Decency, honor, respect, treating people with dignity, making sure that everyone has an even chance. And I'm
Aren't
gonna
we
make sure
already
you
in
get
hell,
that.
someone says?
You haven't
True.
been getting it the last 4 years.
All right. I want to thank
Bold
you both
statement,
for
Biden.
a very robust hour and a half, a fantastic debate. Really appreciate it. President Trump,
that it?
former Vice President Joe Biden, thank you to Belmont University for hosting us tonight.
That's
and most
it.
importantly, thank you to those watching tonight. Election Day is November 3rd.
She didn't do too bad as a
Don't
moderator,
forget
but
to vote. Thank you, everyone, and
hate
have
that
a
they
great night.
didn't argue more.
There you have it, second and final debate of this 2020 election. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, two white men in their 70s, two very different candidates. What we heard tonight.
Two
over the
white
course
men
of
in their
90 minutes as we
70s.
see Melania Trump come on the stage wearing her
Okay.
mask tonight. Is two very different.
Trump's wife
visions
coming
of how
up.
to handle the COVID crisis, how the COVID crisis was handled. For the first 40 minutes or so, it
There's
seemed
Biden's
like
wife,
a
I believe.
relatively normal debate as the candidates laid out their positions on the COVID crisis. Got heated about 40 minutes in when Joe Biden unexpectedly went on offense over Donald Trump and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. President Trump responding with a series of unverified and misleading and false charges about Joe Biden and his business dealings and the business dealings of his son, and then some harsh clashes. We didn't have the kind of interruptions we saw in the first debate. The mute did appear to work at least for a time, but there were harsh clashes
Hammer
on
roulette,
healthcare,
Sam, yeah.
the minimum wage, children separated at the border under the Trump administration policy, and the big issue of character end.
Kind of hard not to tell anyone. We typed it in a public chat, Sam, my guy.
Saying sarcastic Abraham Lincoln, talking about Donald Trump as one of the most racist presidents of modern times. The big question, John Carl, in the debate hall tonight for the president and his team, did they do enough to change the dynamic of this race?
All right. We've seen this. We know what this is about, guys. We've been watching this. We ain't gonna watch other people's opinions and stuff like that. I'm not here to do it. I'm here to give my opinion real quick on it because a lot of you guys, 250, almost 300 of you guys, have been sitting here watching this for a long period of time now, and I'm here to give my opinion on the whole matter. I'm not gonna reveal who I voted for. I'm not gonna reveal that information. I don't want you guys thinking I'm voting for this guy and then everyone else who voted for the other guy who's very passionate about politics to sit here and slander my channel now because of a belief I have. That's not right, and I can't afford and will not take that risk in doing that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to give my opinion on this debate, and I will give my opinion on who's going to win, because that was the final debate. I don't know if I'll cover anything else, but if there's some controversial or very news-spoken stuff, I will sit here and address what I need to address. And I might make a video on it if it's really something we need to address. So, having said that, my opinions on the debate, someone said, wow, TJV voted Trump, let's cancel him on Twitter, just like we did Chris. Again, not revealing who I voted for. My opinions on it is Trump sat here and it was kind of obvious that he wanted to interrupt Biden throughout a lot of it, similar to the first debate. But it also seemed Biden was trying to from time to time. It seems like Biden was a lot more aggressive midway through to the end. It seems like Biden was getting a little heated. He was starting to get more assertive with the way he talked. Trump was obviously assertive from beginning to end. Biden was slipping up from time to time on some of his words, what he said. That huge mistake that he made, that you said you were Abraham Lincoln. That was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. It was ridiculous, huge mistake. And Trump obviously slipping up, throwing a lot of numbers at him, which, again, it isn't like we have an index sitting here telling us what's true and what's not. So a lot of people doing research after this, finding out what they said is true and what they didn't say is true. And then people that already knew what was true and what wasn't true. It was a bit shocking. As I'm closing this up, feel free to send in any super chats if you want to send any super chats, because I'll start to close this up here. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who did send super chats and all those people who were talking in chat and helped out and decided to go down in the description below and join the Discord or support me on Patreon or buy my merch. But anyways, I think overall this debate was better than the first, but it still isn't what a presidential debate should be. It's kind of sad that people look at this as a fucking cat and mouse fight. Sorry for my language. They look at this as a cat and mouse fight more than anything else. They don't see this as a professional thing. People don't look up to any one of these people. I know at one point during the Obama-Mitt Romney election, there was a lot of great moments to learn from through their election, because they had a little bit better of a composure. They both respected each other more. And now Trump really doesn't respect anyone he runs against, and every person that runs against Trump is just really tired of him calling out, acting like a child. And it results in both of them being kind of irritating, kind of sad. And it's very upsetting that some of this stuff has to happen. So having said that, I'd like you guys to vote, obviously. Find which one of these lesser two evils to vote for. Try to do your best. Try to do what you have to do. But nonetheless, I hope you guys found this election, this debate, a little less boring, a little more exciting to look forward to. Thank you for watching with me. I always feel like it's better to watch these debates with someone, just so you can hear other opinions, but also make sure who you're watching it with, because if some YouTubers or some people out on YouTube decided that they wanted to live stream this and give their right-sided opinion or left-sided opinion, Democratic or Republican, conservative or liberal, if they wanted to give their opinion on it, they might try to be swaying some of the viewers. And I'm not trying to do that. I will sit here and talk about some things. Like when they talked about the minimum wage, I sat here and voiced my opinion on that. But if you guys have your own opinions thinking that there should be a national minimum wage, that's your opinion. Well, I did not think that. There's a lot of things that I disagreed with here and there. You know, when they got on race and the topics about that, there's a couple things I didn't agree with there. The whole COVID-19 thing, I disagreed with a couple things there. So again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry if I got a little more political than I usually am. I don't mean to. If you guys don't want to see political stuff from me, just avoid watching the videos that look political, I guess. I get some people, politics kind of, they shut themselves out away from politics, and I understand that. Some of my own family members don't like it when I talk politics. It's all right, but I hope you guys can vote. If you guys are able to vote and you're eligible to vote, hopefully you vote. Every vote does count. It does matter if you vote, and we need to make sure that the next 4 years we pick the right person and we settle on a person and we become more united as a country. And to anyone outside of this country, just appreciate that you don't have to put up with this. That's all I'll say about that. Be thankful that you don't live in the United States of America. Because it's really disappointing having both candidates be kind of embarrassing to have as your leader. So, anyways, that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Thank you guys who donated. Thank you guys who watched and talked in the live chat. Thank you, Dakota and Sam, for being moderators and sticking around for most of the live stream. Thank you all who's being here as often as I can. Maybe somebody was asking, like, hey, can you reveal who you voted for or who you're voting for after the election? After the election, I might, because at that point it wouldn't really matter. But then some people might say, oh, if the person you voted for gets elected and you just say that that you voted for him, maybe you just changed your mind last minute. No, I have a clear-cut opinion. I do sway more one side. I do. Naturally, I do, because I've talked about politics for a long time. I was always interested in politics from like the age of 16, but I never sat here and tried to force that upon anyone. And yeah, I do sway one way. I either left or right. I'm not gonna say which one, but I do sway more one way. And there is a president I voted for. I did vote for my party. Whatever president is in my party, that's who I voted for. I was going to vote for the other side at one point, but then I was like, nah, I got to vote for this guy. So I'm not going to reveal who it is, but maybe after the election I will. So I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know. I see a lot of people saying, it's Trump, it's Biden, I know who it is. You have no idea who it is. Because a lot of you guys are wrong. So I like how the people who are so certain it's one person, I'm sitting here like, you have no idea. If someone's asking blue or red, I am not going to say. Sway third way? That's what I'll say. I swayed the third way. I didn't sway the one way. Didn't say sway the second way. I swayed the third way. That's a real confusion. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Again, keep politics out of your life now. The debate's over. Don't worry about it. Just go enjoy yourself. Don't watch any mini-lad videos. Make sure to go dislike mini-lad's recent video. Make sure to go like all my videos and subscribe. Buy my merch. Join the Discord. Support me on Patreon. And be here for the next time I do a stream. Check out my new video tomorrow morning. It'll be about the newest mini-lad video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys. And to the 120 of you guys who stuck this far all the way to the end, I love you guys for certain. And if the 120 of you guys that are still watching sit here, go to my Discord and say, I stayed until the end. And I will appreciate every single one of you guys in Discord who said that you stayed here until the end. Do it like in ping chat or something like that. That would be cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go join the Discord. Links in the description. Thank you guys so much. Love every single one of you guys. And I'll see you guys later. Peace. Whew.